Chapter 773. Beast Tide. Ling Shiqi naturally knew about the beast tide. Back when he was in the demonic Miasma mountain range, he had thought that a beast tide had broken out. However, that was just a disturbance caused by Nine Leaf preparing for his tribulation. The people of the Imperial Beast Camp and the Blood Beast sect took advantage of it. Last time, the Dark Thunder Guard headquarters had probably received similar information, but they had also discovered the intentions of the Imperial Beast Abode and the Blood Beast sect. In any case, they would settle the matter of the demonic Miasma mountain range, so the Dark Thunder Guard naturally couldn't be bothered to interfere. However, it was completely different this time. Ling Shiqi asked, "Is the information reliable? How could there be a beast tide in the demonic Miasma mountains?" "Master, the information is absolutely true. The spirit cultivators near the demon-suppressing demon city have suffered heavy casualties. Fortunately, the demon-suppressing demon city is strong enough, and the city guards are not weak. Only then were they able to block the many spirit beasts that erupted," Rinyi said in a heavy tone. This was actually true. Ling Shiqi knew that this was no small matter. Last time, it was just a fake beast horde, but they had mobilized nearby troops to reinforce the demon-suppressing city. It was clear that the Thunderfire dynasty attached great importance to the demonic Miasma mountain range. But then again, this might not be a good opportunity to make a contribution. If the Thunderfire dynasty was at peace, where would he, as the chief steward, get any merits? He turned around and asked, "Have you found out the reason for the beast tide outbreak?" At this moment, a trace of disbelief appeared on Renye's face, and he said, "It said that a rank 7 great demon appeared in the depths of the demonic Miasma mountain range. And it's not just one." "Impossible," Ling Shiqi blurted out. "A few years ago, a rank 7 great demon like Nine Leaf appearing in the demonic Miasma mountain range was already a once-in-a-century occurrence. How long had it been since then? How could another rank 7 great demon be born? Not to mention that there was more than one. If the demon Miasma mountain range had so many rank 7 great demons, it would not have been reduced to the 3 great dynasties' back garden. Your humble servant also felt that it was very strange, but there were indeed 2 7th-order great demons in the demonic Miasma mountain range. At that time, there just happened to be an expert from the Imperial family's hall of worship nearby. He entered the demonic Miasma mountain range alone and almost died there. Only then did he obtain this information." Renyi explained, his tone was filled with seriousness. Ling Shiqi knocked on the armrest of the chair. There was something strange about this matter. No matter how he looked at it, it was definitely not simple. "Since I've gotten the information, Your Majesty must have gotten it even earlier. I'm guessing that I'll have to enter the palace for a discussion soon. Renyi, I will take the initiative to go and investigate the beast tide in the demonic Miasma mountain range. Xingji Pavilion and Jinling Manor will need you to take care of them." Hearing this, Renyi was shocked. "My lord, you can't. The current demonic Miasma mountain range is not only dangerous, it is also like a deep pool whose bottom cannot be seen clearly. This lowly subordinate believes that there is no need for my lord to take the risk." Ling Shiqi shook his head and said, "Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Besides, other than me, there will also be others who will take the initiative to go to the Miasma mountain range. The beast tide this time is indeed dangerous, but it is also an opportunity. I've already made up my mind. You don't have to persuade me anymore. Your humble servant obeys." Renyi knew that no one could change Ling Shiqi's decision, so he could only obey. As Ling Shiqi expected, he was soon summoned to the palace to discuss the beast tide in the demonic Miasma mountain range. Under the double play of Ling Shiqi and the soul doppelganger, he still took the task this time. In order to completely stop the beast tide, the Thunderstorm dynasty would adopt a 3-pronged approach. The first one was to immediately summon the Discipline Commission, Dark Thunder Guards and a large number of city guards in the surrounding counties to support the demon-suppressing town. The second one was to directly mobilize the combat army like last time. As for the third one, it was Ling Shiqi. This time, Ling Shiqi would go to the demonic miasma mountain range with 2 deputy directors and the war thunder guards under his command. There were a total of 7 masters in the oneness of heaven, more than 40 in the gang's spirit realm, and hundreds in the spiritual aperture realm and spiritual pulse realm. In addition, the most powerful combat force was actually not them, but the 2 masters in the Tianyuan realm from the Imperial Hall of Worship. Now there was another master in the demon-suppressing town. Ling Shiqi just learned that the man was the old man he was familiar with. After they destroyed the 1,000 Illusion Sword sect in Donglin County, the old man had not returned to the imperial capital. Later, when they passed by the demonic miasma mountain range, they happened to encounter the beast tide outbreak. He took the risk alone with his powerful strength, but who would have thought that he would run into 2 level 7 monsters? In the end, the old man had to pay a hefty price to escape. Fortunately, his injury was not very serious. With him in the demon-suppressing town, nothing serious would happen for a while. In addition, the Thunderstorm Dynasty's combat army would also send another master in the Tianyuan realm. This time, a total of 4 masters in the Tianyuan realm would gather in the demonic miasma mountain range. Even if there were 2 level 7 monsters, it was not a big deal. Level 7 monsters' combat strength was very strong, even stronger than most masters who had just entered the Tianyuan realm. However, their weakness was also very obvious. They rarely had powerful spiritual treasures or were proficient in various secret techniques. 2 of the 4 Heavenly Origin realm experts from the Thunderblaze dynasty were proficient in formations. As long as they didn't know about the formation beforehand, and with their high-grade spiritual energy and strange secret techniques, it wouldn't be a problem for them to kill the 2 Class 7 demons. In particular, the 2 Level 7 monsters had just transformed and were not yet able to fully control their strength. Therefore, the Thunderstorm dynasty had an overwhelming advantage in terms of peak combat strength. Ling Shiqi's subordinates and the experts gathered from various places were the backbone of the army. Their main targets were the Level 5 and Level 6 monsters. As for the Level 4 monsters, they would be left to the combat army. After Ling Shiqi received the order, he immediately gathered his men and prepared to rush to the demon-suppressing town through the interdomain teleportation formation. However, at this time, there was some movement in the underworld. Someone was using the Netherlamp illusion to contact him, and that person was the Delta Origi. Ling Shiqi knew that the Delta Origi went into seclusion after coming out of the Void Scar Sky. It seemed that she had come out. He returned to the study and entered the underworld. At this time, the Delta Origi in the underworld appeared in the form of Yuanyang Mingyu Ghost Emperor. Due to the underworld's upgrade, there was a huge change here. The Delta Origi was looking around. When Ling Shiqi appeared, the Delta Origi said, "I've encountered some trouble." Hearing this, Ling Shiqi's heart moved. He knew that the Delta Origi was a very strong person. Even if she encountered trouble, she would not easily ask for help. The Delta Origi came to Ling Shiqi on her own. This meant that the trouble was not small. Ling Shiqi nodded. The Delta Origi continued, "The Cloud Shuttle Monarch's disciple, Yun Xingxing, recently broke through to the unity of heaven and man realm. He kept begging the Cloud Shuttle Monarch to come over and propose marriage. I'm annoyed." Ling Shiqi remembered that he seemed to have seen this person in the Void Scar Sky. It was a white-faced youth. At this moment, killing intent appeared in his heart. It was just a spirit cultivator who had just entered the unity of heaven and man realm. It was not a big deal to assassinate him silently. Thus, he said solemnly, "Do you want to kill him?" Chapter 774. Delta Origi paused. She did not expect that Ling Shiqi would want to kill Yun Xingxing directly. She said, "That's not necessary." There is a rumor in the Discipline Commission that Monarch Cloud Shuttle is about to step down from his position as the Grand Commander. Yun Xingxing just wants to use him as his last backer. Moreover, killing the personal disciple of the Discipline Commission's Grand Commander in the Imperial Capital is not a small matter. It's enough to teach him a lesson. Ling Shiqi wanted to say that he could do it flawlessly, but on second thought, Yun Xingxing's actions in the Discipline Commission were all above board. He proposed marriage to Delta Origi and then died. The biggest suspect was naturally Delta Origi. Yun Xingxing's head will be put on his head for now, he thought to himself. At this time, Ling Shiqi noticed that Delta Origi's cultivation was already at the 7th level of Gang's spirit realm. Last time in the Void Scar Sky, Delta Origi's cultivation was still at the 2nd level of Gang's spirit realm. In less than a year, she had reached the late stage of Gang's spirit realm. Of course, her cultivation speed was not as fast as Ling Shiqi's, but it was already rare among her peers, even in the whole Falling Star continent. The reason why Delta Origi's cultivation speed was so fast was also greatly related to Ling Shiqi. Last time when they entered the Tomb of Heaven together, Ling Shiqi specially chose the most suitable cultivation comprehension for Delta Origi. Later, Delta Origi joined the underworld and directly received the inheritance of the Ghost Emperors of 5 directions. Her strength increased greatly. When Ling Shiqi became one of the 4 directors, he also gave Delta Origi a lot of cultivation resources. Coupled with Delta Origi's superb cultivation talent, it was not impossible for her to make such progress. However, Ling Shiqi did not say anything about cultivation, because his own realm was a whole realm higher than Delta Origi's. If the Delta Origi were to find out about this, they would most likely be furious. Coincidentally, Ling Shiqi thought of a good idea. He said, since it's not a good time to kill him, let's avoid him first. In the past 2 days, there has been a beast tide in the demonic Miasma mountain range. I am gathering people to quell it. I will ask for some people from the Discipline Commission. You will come with me to the demonic Miasma mountain range. Demonic Miasma mountain range. That's fine too. I've stayed in the Imperial Capital for too long. It's time for me to go out for a walk. Delta Origi agreed, but she immediately asked, what if Yun Xingxing goes with them? Don't worry. Ling Shiqi smiled gently and said, I only want spirit cultivators in the Gang's spirit realm from the Discipline Department. I can't ask for higher or lower realms. As a general manager who has the power to act as the commander, I still have this bit of face. You, no matter where you are, you will shine. I am not as good as you. Delta Origi said faintly. She did not wait for Ling Shiqi to answer and removed the underworld lamp illusion. Ling Shiqi touched his nose. Sometimes being too good was also a trouble. After leaving the underworld, Ling Shiqi personally went to the headquarters of the Discipline Commission to meet with Monarch Cloud Shuttle. He explained his intentions. Monarch Cloud Shuttle was very straightforward. Without saying anything, he was willing to lend Ling Shiqi a total of 20 Gang Spirit Realm Masters. One must know that Gang Spirit Realm Masters were not cabbages on the roadside. They were masters who could support second-rate sects outside. Moreover, the masters of the Discipline Commission had always been famous for their fighting strength. They were even better than the War Thunder Guards of the Dark Thunder Guards. In order not to be so obvious, Ling Shiqi personally selected a few people, including Delta Origi and Zhugapuha. When he mentioned Delta Origi, Monarch Cloud Shuttle obviously hesitated, but still agreed. Monarch Cloud Shuttle knew that his time as the commander of the Discipline Commission was running out. On the other hand, Ling Shiqi had infinite potential. It was unknown how long he could be in charge of the Dark Thunder Guards in the future. There was no need to make enemies with Ling Shiqi for the sake of his apprentice's personal interests. After this matter was settled, Ling Shiqi returned to the Dark Thunder Guards after some polite greetings. In Xingji Pavilion, thousands of masters were standing in order, waiting for him. Ling Shiqi waved his hand, let's go. A group of people walked in the direction of the interdomain transmission formation. On the streets of the imperial capital, all the people who met them consciously made way for them. The outbreak of the beast tide in the demonic miasma mountains had been known to the public. The news that Ling Shiqi received the order to suppress the beast tide was also announced. Everyone looked at Ling Shiqi's group with admiration. These dark thunder guards were going to suppress the beast tide to save the people. But the beast tide was dangerous. How many people could come back safely? Therefore, although people hated the dark thunder guards at ordinary times, they still hoped that they could all come back triumphantly at this time. When Ling Shiqi and others came to the interdomain transmission formation, the 20 masters of the gang spirit realm of the Discipline Commission also arrived. The leader was Delta Origi. She stood in the middle of the crowd in a bright red dress. Her jade-white neck was slightly raised, like a proud swan. Ling Shiqi smiled and said, Miss Blood Moon, Brother Zhuge, we can fight side by side again. Delta Origi said lightly, don't worry. The Discipline Commission won't hold Supervisor Liu back. Zhuge Puha's eyes were a little strange. He said, long time no see, Supervisor Liu. But he secretly transmitted a message, Brother Liu, I happen to have something to discuss with you. Ling Shiqi knew it was about the Star Tribe. Last time in Shantai County, he helped the Star Tribe release 2 masters of the oneness of heaven and men realm. It seemed that Zhuge Yun was not satisfied with this. He gave a subtle hint with his eyes, and then led the crowd into the transmission formation. As for the other 2 masters of the Tianyuan realm, they had already rushed to the demon-suppressing town in advance for fear of unexpected problems. After several turns, they finally arrived at the demon-suppressing town late at night. Lei Yuanwu, the commander of the city guards of the demon-suppressing town, and 2 deputy commanders came to welcome them in person. The 3 of them bowed and said, Supervisor Liu. Supervisor Liu and the masters came to the rescue of the demon-suppressing town. We can see that you care about the people. We admire you. Ling Shiqi looked at the 3 people who bowed. He thought that he had once joined the city guards of the demon-suppressing town in disguise. At that time, he had to look up to these 3 people when he had to go out of the city to suppress the evil beasts. A few years had passed, and Lei Yuanwu was still Lei Yuanwu, but Ling Shiqi was already someone they had to look up to. Ling Shiqi did not put on airs. Lei Yuanwu in front of him was at the same cultivation level as him, the latter stage of the oneness of heaven and men realm. However, Lei Yuanwu was a distant relative of the royal family, and his status was not low. He was most concerned about the current situation of the demonic miasma mountain range. He waved his hand and said, Commander Lei, there is no need to be so polite. We are here under orders to protect the demon-suppressing town and even remove all the hidden dangers in the demonic miasma mountain range. May I ask what is the situation in the demonic miasma mountain range now? Lei Yuanwu straightened up and said, Supervisor Liu, please come to the meeting hall for a chat. The higher-ups of the demon-suppressing town are waiting for you there. Let's go. However, they had only taken a few steps when there was a series of shocking roars outside the demon-suppressing town. Immediately, several extremely terrifying spiritual auras came one after another. The night sky twisted, as if doomsday had arrived. Chapter 775. Everyone who was walking stopped in their tracks. They looked in the direction of the demonic miasma mountain range in shock. Who was it that could cause such a terrifying fluctuation? Ling Shiqi opened his eyes and vaguely saw 4 spiritual qi erupting like volcanoes. 2 of them were in the shape of humans and the other 2 were demonic beasts. He immediately realized that the 2 sky origin stage cultivators from the Imperial Hall of Worship must have encountered the 7th-rank demonic beasts. At the same time, he couldn't help but feel a little dissatisfied. The two of them rashly entered the demonic miasma mountains and alerted the enemy. He originally planned to go in himself to find out the situation and then set up a formation to kill the 7th-ranked demonic beasts with the help of the 4 Sky Origin stage cultivators. But now, his plan was completely disrupted by the two of them. He couldn't help cursing. What were the two from the Imperial Hall of Worship doing here? At this moment, a bolt of lightning flashed and a man appeared in the sky above them. It was the old man. The old man's face was still a little pale. For a Sky Origin stage cultivator to have such a pale face, it meant that he was still injured. The old man cursed in front of everyone, "two brainless bastards. Big brother old Han, what happened?" Ling Shiqi greeted old Han when he saw him. "Brother Lu, you are already here. It's all because of Zhong Zhenliang and Lan Ruo." The old man's face became more and more gloomy. He continued, "I told them that the two 7th-ranked demonic beasts were not easy to deal with. They didn't listen. They thought they had some tricks up their sleeves and still went in. I heard that they were going to set up some inhibition formations. Now it seems that they still alerted the two 7th-ranked demonic beasts. They are so stupid to have alerted the enemy." Ling Shiqi felt a bit of a headache. Since his plan had failed, it seemed that the only way left was to attack. He asked, "Old brother, what's the background of those two 7th-order great demons? Why did 2 great demons suddenly appear in the demonic miasma mountain range?" This was also what Ling Shiqi was puzzled about. The old man replied, "The 2 big demons are the mixed devil sable and the heavenly winged tiger. They were originally rank 6 demonic beasts in the demonic miasma mountain range for a long time. I don't know when they became rank 7 big demons. However, none of the experts in the demon-subduing citadel had ever sensed the aura of a heavenly tribulation, so no one knew how they advanced. The last time I went in to explore, I was ambushed by the mixed demon sable and the heavenly winged tiger. If it weren't for my thunder technique restraining the demonic beasts and the loss of a trump card, I almost couldn't come back. What bad luck." And Ling Shiqi actually heard about the demon sable from the old man's mouth. He remembered very clearly that it was Nine Leave who had secretly brought him to the spirit spring of the chaos demon Black Sable to break through to the spirit vein realm. At that time, he had used all his means to escape and had almost died at the hands of the old sable. Who would have thought that after a few years, that old mink actually advanced to become a rank 7 great demon? This time, Ling Shiqi had come to kill these two 7th-order great demons. Speaking of which, it was truly a small world. Since the old man had fought with the mixed demon Black Sable and the heavenly winged tiger, he must know their strength. Ling Shiqi asked, "How powerful are these 2 rank 7 great demons? Do they have any special abilities?" Speaking of this, the old man looked serious and said in a heavy tone, "It's strange. A few years ago, there was a rank 7 great demon in the demonic miasma mountains, and now there are 2 more. Moreover, the mixed demon Black Sable and the heavenly winged tiger have advanced not long ago, but they are very powerful. If it's one-on-one, I can barely defeat one of them." Ling Shiqi's heart sank. He had seen the old man's strength. The old man was an experienced expert in the Tianyuan realm, and definitely ranked above the middle level. However, this level of expert was only slightly stronger than the mixed demon Black Sable and the heavenly winged tiger. Even if demonic beasts were born with great strength, they should not be so powerful. There are so many strange things in here. Ling Shiqi thought to himself. He felt that things were much more troublesome than he had imagined when he first came to the demon-suppressing town. Lei Yuanwu, the commander of the city guards, bowed to the old man and said, "Shall we rescue the 2 masters in the hall of worship?" "Humph." The old man snorted, "Save my ass. It's good to let them suffer a little. They have been in the hall of worship for a long time, so they don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. But we don't need to worry about their safety. After all, they are in the Tianyuan realm. They won't be in danger so easily. At most, they will be injured. Everyone looked at each other. This old man's heart was quite big. Since he had already said so, no one could say anything else. Ling Shiqi said, since that's the case, we'll listen to elder brother. Those two experts might be able to bring back some useful information. Let's go to the city lord's mansion first. Lei Yuanwu turned around and led everyone into the mayor's mansion. The rest of the people had also settled down. Ling Shiqi and a few of the upper echelons of the Dark Thunder Guard sat in the meeting hall. There were already more than 10 people waiting inside. Sitting at the top was an old man with many age spots on his face. He looked like he could pass out at any moment. Lei Yuanwu introduced, this is the city lord of the demon-suppressing town. City Lord Qi, this is the Dark Thunder Guard's chief steward Liu. Ling Shiqi looked at the city lord Qi. He knew that the city lord Qi was called the Old City Lord by the people here, because he had been in this position for 60 to 70 years. During this period of time, the demon-suppressing town had experienced 2 beast tides, and he was the one who took the lead to fight against the demonic beasts, defending the demon-suppressing town time and time again. Therefore, whether it was the residents of the demon-suppressing town, the spirit cultivator, or the officials, they all had great respect for him. Greetings, City Lord Qi. Ling Shiqi cupped his hands. In terms of status, he was far higher than City Lord Qi, but in the demon-suppressing town, he could not use his status to suppress others. This old one is unable to move, so I am unable to salute Chief Steward Liu. Please forgive me. City Lord Qi's voice was old and weak. City Lord Qi is too kind. Just now, something happened in the Demon Miasma mountain range. Chief Steward Liu came in time. Everyone in the demon-suppressing town will listen to Lord Liu's orders. Just give the order. City Lord Qi's words were equivalent to handing over all the authority in the demon-suppressing town. This was a little out of Ling Shiqi's expectations. However, this was even better. It would save him the trouble of scheming against each other. At this juncture, he did not have the time to do so. He immediately sat beside City Lord Qi and said, Everyone, we have come to the demon-suppressing town to settle the beast tide as soon as possible and protect the peace of the demon-suppressing town. Let's not waste any more time. I need the latest information on the Demon Miasma mountain range. City Lord Qi's eyes moved. He swept his gaze across the upper echelons of the demon-suppressing town. These people immediately started talking at once. Not long later, 2 rays of light suddenly flashed and entered the meeting hall. When the light faded, 2 slightly wretched figures were revealed. They were the experts of the Imperial Family Hall of Consecration, Zhongzhen Liang and Lan Ruo. Ling Shiqi's face darkened. He said coldly, The 2 of you, do you know your crimes? Chapter 776. Zhongzhen Liang and Lan Ruo's already ugly expression sank again. Their status in the Imperial Hall of Worship of the Thunderflame dynasty was extraordinary. Anyone who saw them would have to be polite. Even Lei Qingjun in the past was like this. It had been a long time since someone dared to talk to them like this. The golden-robed Zhongzhen Liang sneered, You must be Lu Xingji. What a powerful official. Black Flame Heaven Sovereign wouldn't dare to talk like this, you don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Lan Ruo was a feminine-looking man with a neutral voice. Ling Shiqi didn't hold back at all, I was ordered to kill the demons, all the plans have been arranged. It was all because of your reckless actions that the plan failed. Ruining the Thunderflame dynasty's plan, ruining His Majesty's plan, even you can't bear the consequences. What nonsense are you spouting? Zhongzhen Liang said angrily, We were just trying to find out the truth of the demonic miasma mountain range, but in your mouth, it became a reckless action. You really don't know anything. How can you sit in the position of one of the 4 chiefs? Ling Shiqi suddenly stood up with an imposing manner. Impudent! I am one of the 4 great stewards personally appointed by the late emperor. You're questioning the late emperor, how dare you disrespect him? Zhong Zhenliang paused. He didn't expect to be accused like this. He was about to retort when the old man stood in front of Ling Shiqi and said, Zhong Zhenliang, do you really have to go this far? Admit your stupidity, we'll think of another way. There's no point in arguing here. Zhong Zhenliang didn't expect the old man to speak up for Ling Shiqi. Before, no matter how powerful Ling Shiqi was, he was only a young man in the unity of heaven realm. But now, with the old man's support, the weight was completely different. Well said. Suddenly, a strange voice came from outside, and a man in light armor descended from the sky. With us 4 Sky Origin Realm cultivators here, we could have killed the demons with a little preparation. But because of you two, we missed the opportunity. They recognized him as soon as he showed up. He was the commander of the Red Thunder Army, a Sky Origin stage cultivator, Gu Hetong. What surprised Zhong Zhenliang even more was that Gu Hetong was also on Ling Shiqi's side. Now, not only were he and Lan Ruo on the wrong, but they also didn't have the upper hand in the situation. They could only pinch their noses and endure. At this moment, Lan Ruo stepped forward and said, Enough. At the end of the day, we all wanted to solve the big problem of the demonic miasma mountain range as soon as possible. However, we didn't expect to be ambushed not long after we entered the mountain range. Brother Zhong and I determined that there is an extremely secretive and complicated formation in the demonic miasma mountain range. The top priority right now is to come up with a countermeasure. The demonic beasts are still wreaking havoc. If we start to panic, it will only cause more innocent people to die tragically in the mouths of the demonic beasts. His words immediately surprised everyone in the hall. The demonic miasma mountain range was filled with demonic beasts, but they had never heard of demonic beasts being able to set up arrays. Everyone felt that there was a mastermind behind this matter. The atmosphere in the hall suddenly became heavy, and the conflict between Ling Shiqi and Zhong Zhenliang was also shifted. Ling Shiqi didn't want internal strife, but as the leader of this great mission, he had to support Zhong Zhenliang and Lan Ruo. Otherwise, he didn't know what would happen in the future. Ling Shiqi didn't expect Gu Hetong to appear and speak up for him. The Red Thunder Army would take at least 2 days to arrive, so Gu Hetong must have come early. However, the old man said, Brother, this Gu Hetong is also a member of the elite hall. His seniority is even higher than mine. Hearing this, Ling Shiqi understood. At the same time, the powerful impression of the elite hall was also imprinted in his heart. So far, he had only seen 2 members of the elite hall. One was a superior of the Imperial Hall of Worship, and the other was the commander of the Red Thunder Army. It could be seen that those who could join the elite hall were all extraordinary in status and strength. Ling Shiqi signaled, and immediately, someone brought chairs for the several Tianyuan stage cultivators to sit on the high seats. He said, since it has already happened, it's useless to investigate further. Besides, you two have just fought with the big monsters, so you must know their strength and fighting style better. As the saying goes, know thyself and know thy enemy, and you will never be defeated. Can you tell us more about it? Zhong Zhenliang sat on the seat with a gloomy face, and didn't mean to speak. Lan Ruo thought for a moment, then she could only say, the 2 7th-rank big monsters are the Demon Sable and the Heavenly Winged Tiger. The Demon Sable is very insidious. It never fights with us directly. Its demon chi is very strange. It is not only very corrosive, but also can disturb part of the chi of heaven and earth. Brother Zhong and I were ambushed by the demon chi, and could only use about 80% of our strength. Also, the Heavenly Winged Tiger was very agile, and could communicate with the power of the stars and moon. Under the cover of the demon chi, it was impossible to guard against. I'm ashamed, Brother Zong and I were at a disadvantage from the beginning. In the end, we had to break through the demon Qi to get out of the battlefield. Zong Zhenliang, who didn't want to speak, added, there are two other suspicious points. First, the demon Qi of the two 7th rank big monsters is very thick. It doesn't seem like they just advanced. It seems like they have at least hundreds of years of power. Secondly, there are traces of a formation in the demonic miasma mountain range. Although the formation was deliberately hidden, Lan Roa and I are both formation masters, so we can sense it. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been ambushed by them. After the two finished speaking, the meeting hall fell into silence. From the current information, the demon sable and the heavenly winged tiger's strength far exceeded everyone's expectations. More importantly, since there was a formation hidden in the demonic miasma mountain range, it meant that there was a mysterious spirit cultivator hiding in there. This meant that the beast tide outbreak in the demonic miasma mountain range was man-made. Humans were always more difficult to deal with than beasts. Also, if there was someone who could secretly control two 7th rank big monsters, then this person had to be at least in the Sky Yuan stage. It seemed like the current battle strength was not enough. Ling Shiqi frowned. He had only been in the demon-suppressing city for less than an hour, but things were getting more and more unexpected. After a while, he stood up and said, City Lord Qi, General Gu, and all the experts, the demonic miasma mountain range is far more dangerous than we thought. What's more terrifying is the mysterious power behind it. I am not talented, but I need to guard the demon-suppressing city. And I will personally go to the demonic miasma mountain range. When he said this, it attracted all kinds of strange gazes. Some did not believe him, some were suspicious, some were disdainful, and some thought he was crazy. Including the old man, there were already 3 Sky Yuan stage cultivators who were defeated. Ling Shiqi, who was in the Unity of Heaven and Man stage, still wanted to enter the demonic miasma mountain range. Was he crazy? Chapter 777. The old man turned around and advised, Brother, the demonic miasma mountain range is a dangerous place now. I know you are very powerful, but the demon sable and the heavenly winged tiger have already been alerted. If you go in recklessly, you might be in danger. Thank you for your reminder, Ling Shiqi cupped his fist and said, I am a person who cherishes my life. I won't do anything that will kill me. I decided to enter the demonic miasma mountain range because I am confident. Besides, I won't provoke the 2 7th rank monsters. I just want to find out who is hiding behind them. Compared to the 7th rank monsters, this is what worries me more. In that case, you must be careful. You need to take charge of the situation here. Take this to protect yourself, the old man said as he handed over a token engraved with thunder runes. Ling Shiqi didn't refuse. When the token was in his hand, he could feel the terrifying power of thunder contained in it. I made this when I was free. Once it is activated, it can release endless thunder, which is equivalent to one of my attacks, the old man explained. The others heard and immediately looked at him with envy. This thing was equivalent to a one-time heaven origin stage. It could be said that no one in the Unity of Heaven and Man realm could survive it. Ling Shiqi knew how precious this thing was, especially since he didn't have a deep relationship with the old man. He said, I will remember your kindness. After I leave, I will ask you and City Lord Qi to arrange everything in the demon-suppressing town. The old man felt something was wrong. He said in surprise, You mean you want to enter the demonic miasma mountain range now? Yes. No, the demon sable and the heavenly winged tiger have just been alerted. They are on high alert now. It is too dangerous. Ling Shiqi smiled. Because of this, I think the demon sable and the heavenly winged tiger won't think anyone dares to enter the demonic miasma mountain range now. It will increase my chances of hiding. Fine, whatever you say makes sense. I can't win against you. The old man shook his head and sighed. Ling Shiqi turned around and saluted Gu Hetong, who had just spoken up for him. General Gu, please forgive me for not being able to give you a welcome dinner. Gu Hetong laughed. What's there to welcome? I see that Brother Liu is really brave and has a heroic spirit. If you are tired of staying in the Dark Thunder Guards in the future, you are welcome to join my Crimson Thunder Army. When I have time, I will definitely pay a visit to Marshal Gu. Everyone, I will be back soon. With that, Ling Shiqi turned into a phantom and disappeared from the meeting hall. Zhong Zhenliang transmitted to Lan Ruo. He said we were impulsive, and he doesn't know what's good for him. I think he won't be coming back. Brother Zhong, you've been in seclusion all year round, so you might not have heard much about this Lu Xingji. This lad has created miracles time and time again, and even contradicted Six Directions spirit supremacy. Isn't he still alive and well? This person cannot be underestimated. If he can bring back information, I will acknowledge him. But if he goes in and doesn't find anything, he might just be playing to the gallery. At that time, don't blame me for not giving him face. Zhong Zhenliang was still a little unconvinced. After all, Ling Shiqi had scolded them in front of their faces, which was a total loss of face. Lan Ruo was also a little helpless. Although they were of noble status and stood among the strong, in the end, they were still dependent on the Thunderblaze dynasty. Ling Shiqi was in the limelight, and was also a popular person by His Majesty's side. In the future, his achievements might not be lower than theirs, so there was no need for them to be so hostile. After Ling Shiqi left, he left the demon-suppressing town with a ghostly speed and came to the edge of the Miasma mountain range. Standing here, Ling Shiqi felt a strange aura. He had entered the Miasma mountain range 3 times in the past. The Miasma mountain range was so named because of the miasma everywhere. But now, Ling Shiqi found that there were a few more types of energy in the miasma. Sure enough, there's something strange. Ling Shiqi thought. He was not in a hurry to enter the Miasma mountain range. Instead, he raised his finger and summoned a small insect. It was the Gu King. The Gu King had advanced to the 6th level. Since Ling Shiqi became one of the 4 great chiefs, he had gathered countless resources. Of course, these resources would not be wasted. Especially when he was in seclusion, he always prepared a large amount of resources for the Gu King and the 4-legged metal-swallowing beast. Now, these 2 pets had successfully advanced to the 6th level. It was a pity that his 2 pets were not battle-type. The 4-legged metal-swallowing beast could not be used for anything other than treasure hunting. Fortunately, the Gu King's ability to conceal itself had become stronger after its advancement. It also had the ability to divide itself. Its body could split into many small Gu worms, which had many wonderful uses. The Gu King landed on Ling Shiqi's shoulder and breathed out a faint mist. Ling Shiqi's aura was immediately covered. Even a Sky Origin stage expert would not be able to sense him. Then, he made a few seals on himself. His figure became fainter and fainter until it disappeared. Thus, Ling Shiqi went deep into the demonic Miasma mountain range. When he arrived at the periphery of the demonic Miasma mountain range, he quickly discovered that there were not many demonic beasts in the periphery. Perhaps some of them had already died at the hands of the spirit cultivators in the demon-suppressing city. He did not stay in the periphery for long and went straight into the inner area. As soon as he entered the inner area, Ling Shiqi's footsteps paused. The miasma in the inner area was much higher than the outer area. However, this amount of miasma posed no threat to Ling Shiqi. In fact, the miasma could not even get close to his body. However, Ling Shiqi did something strange. He actually opened his mouth and inhaled a large mouthful of miasma. When the miasma entered his body, Ling Shiqi did not deliberately block it. Instead, he allowed the miasma to flow through his body. He closed his eyes slightly, as if he was sensing something. This was because after he entered the inner area, his sea of consciousness became somewhat restless. The sky of his sea of consciousness flashed with green light, which looked extremely demonic. Ling Shiqi knew very well that the green light was demonic power. When he first condensed the spiritual fantasy world, 9 leaves heavenly demonic soul crystal had been integrated into the spiritual fantasy world. Therefore, Ling Shiqi's body had always been hiding some demonic power. Now that he was deep in the demonic miasma mountain range, such an unforeseen event had occurred in his sea of consciousness. This meant that the demonic power in the miasma here was far stronger than it was a few years ago. Therefore, Ling Shiqi stopped and took the initiative to absorb some of the miasma. When the miasma entered his body, it immediately triggered his demonic power. Ling Shiqi's heart stirred and continued to absorb the miasma. After more than an hour, his eyes had a bit of green light, and his body had automatically activated the wild demonic blood beast body. However, unlike before, his current state was more beast-like. He looked ferocious and terrifying, like a ferocious beast. He felt his current state and seemed to have thought of something. He had already vaguely guessed why the Chaos Demon Black Marten and the Star Moon Heavenly Winged Tiger were so strong. However, at this moment, a voice suddenly sounded. A half-demon. Chapter 778. Ling Shiqi was startled when he heard the voice nearby. He discovered that although he had concealed his presence, he had absorbed a large amount of demonic aura and revealed himself. When he heard the words half-demon, various thoughts flashed through his mind. He had heard of half-demons before. Half-demons were the offspring of a human and a demon. Under normal circumstances, a demonic beast that could do this must be a 7th-rank great demonic beast or even more powerful. But this was only a possibility. High-level great demons had a very low chance of producing offspring. This was the price of being born with great power. It was extremely difficult for them to produce offspring. Not to mention a human and demon union. The probability was so small that it was almost negligible. Of course, there was still a sliver of a possibility. It was a half-demon. Half-demons that had both human and demon bloodlines were seen as anomalies. Both humans and demon beasts felt that half-demons were extremely lowly. So even if a half-demon appeared, they would have been killed long ago. Thus, the number of half-demons on the Starfall continent was probably even less than rank 7 great demons. Ling Shiqi's current appearance was very similar to the legendary half-demon. He had a human body but had 4 arms and a tail. He was emitting dense demonic aura and spirit force. No matter how one looked at him, he was a half-demon. Who is it? Ling Shiqi sensed that there was a rank 6 demon beast not far from him. However, he still shouted in alarm. A strange demon beast walked out of the miasma. It had 4 limbs on the ground and its back was arched like a shrimp. There were sharp spikes that were half a meter long on its back. Its body was covered in a pale green liquid. As it walked, a drop of viscous liquid flowed behind it. Wherever the liquid touched, large areas of the ground would be corroded. Ling Shiqi immediately recognized this demon beast, Ridgeback Venom Beast. The Ridgeback Venom Beast stared at Ling Shiqi with its cold vertical pupils and spoke in human language. You really are a half-demon, no wonder the formation didn't detect your aura. A rank 6 half-demon. It seems your bloodline isn't low. Greed flashed in the Venom Ridgeback Beast's eyes as it spoke. Ling Shiqi changed his tone and said coldly, I don't care who you are. Watch your mouth. The Ridgeback Venom Beast immediately revealed a sinister killing intent. You're courting death. Immediately, the venom around its body swirled and condensed into sharp blades that pierced straight at Suke. Each of the sharp blades tore through the miasma, producing ear-piercing sounds. The rare poison elemental spiritual energy in the world was all mobilized, forming a large poisonous cloud in the surroundings. Ling Shiqi quickly formed a seal with his arms behind his back. Suddenly, a demonic wind rose from all directions, whistling through the air. The surrounding miasma and everything else was swept into the air, including the poisonous cloud of the venom beast on his back. He suddenly punched out with his other two arms, and the phantom of an evil beast appeared behind him. Immediately, a violent and terrifying power erupted in the air. With a punch, the poisonous blade of the venom beast on his back was instantly shattered into pieces with the power of a mountain. The power of the fish shattered the ground, and it seemed like it was going to bury the venom ridgeback beast as well. What the hell? The venom ridgeback beast was stunned. It was a rank 6 monster. In this demonic miasma mountain range, other than the 2 rank 7 monsters, no one could suppress it. But now, a half monster that came out of nowhere defeated it in 2 moves. What kind of strength was this? However, Ling Shiqi stopped at this time. His purpose was to establish his dominance, not to kill the venom ridgeback beast. Moreover, if he really killed this monster, his trip to the demonic miasma mountain range would end early. If I'm not wrong, you're the venom ridgeback beast, right? Ling Shiqi said with a cold gaze. The venom ridgeback beast changed its attitude and crawled over with its head lowered. In the world of monsters, the concept of the strong being respected was deeply ingrained in its bones. It whispered, "That's right. I heard that there are more than 1 rank 7 monster in the demonic miasma mountain range. Take me to see them." Ling Shiqi stated his request. Well. The venom ridgeback beast rolled its eyes. It did not know what Ling Shiqi's purpose was, but it thought that if it brought him to the demon mink and the heavenly winged tiger, Ling Shiqi's life would be at stake. Why? Are you in a difficult position? Ling Shiqi's murderous intent exploded. The venom ridgeback beast was startled again. It was not good at speed. Now that its strength was suppressed by Ling Shiqi, it might really die here if it did not behave. It immediately nodded and said, "It's not difficult, it's not difficult. It's just that the 2 great ancestors won't see you easily. I'll take you to them at most. As for whether they see them or not, it's not up to me. Hurry up and lead the way." Yes, yes, Ling Shiqi followed the venom ridgeback beast all the way into the demonic miasma mountain range. Since he was accidentally discovered, he was mistaken for a half monster. Therefore, he temporarily changed his method of concealment and detection and turned to lurking among the monsters as a half monster. He had been with Nine Leaf for a long time and knew that the communication between monsters was much simpler than between humans. If you were strong, you would be the boss. Whoever had the bigger fist had the greater right to speak. It was precisely because he knew this that he used his powerful strength to subdue the venom ridgeback beast and make it obedient. Even if the venom ridgeback beast held a grudge, it did not dare to show it in front of him. After a long time, the venom ridgeback beast brought Ling Shiqi to a dilapidated place. It was full of potholes and devastation, as if it had been bombed by countless bombs. In fact, it was almost the same, because this was the place where Nine Leaves self-destructed. When Ling Shiqi came here, he clearly felt the aura of many 6th-rank monsters locking onto him. Roughly speaking, there were no less than 20 of them. When did the demonic miasma mountain range have so many 6th-rank monsters? Ling Shiqi was surprised, but on second thought, if 2 7th-rank monsters could be born at the same time, it was not surprising that there were more 6th-rank monsters. The venom ridgeback beast let out a strange roar, and then the miasma in the sky stirred violently, revealing a huge tiger head. The tiger head stared at Ling Shiqi without any emotion. A 6th-rank half-monster that can suppress little ridgeback is really rare. Tell me your origin. If there is a single lie, your soul will be destroyed. Ling Shiqi raised his head and said in a neither servile nor overbearing tone, "My name is Xie Qiue. a half-monster that has been hiding in the shadows for decades. Recently, I heard that the demonic Miasma mountain range's strength has increased greatly and caused a beast tide, and there are even 7th-rank monsters guarding it, so I came to join you. Xie Chiue. The tiger head said, "No one can prove what you said, how can I believe you?" Ling Shiqi smiled, "Very simple, I am willing to become a pawn of the demonic Miasma mountain range and break the gate of monster-suppressing city. Chapter 779. Hearing this, the tiger head in midair suddenly laughed. His soft laughter caused the miasma within a radius of dozens of miles to ride wildly. You think you can break into the banishing demon town? Do you know that there are 3 sky origin stage cultivators in the town of monsters? What a joke. I can't believe a little half-beast could be so arrogant. It is a miracle that you are still alive. Fine, I will send you on your way. Suddenly, the sky above the demonic Miasma mountains was filled with stars. The moon was high up in the sky. Even through the thick miasma, the moon could be seen clearly. At the same time, a powerful force came down from the sky. The ridgeback venom beast had already moved far away. It thought, what an ungrateful half-beast. How dare you piss off the demon ancestor? You deserve it. However, Ling Shiqi did not change his expression. He continued, because I am a half-beast, I can enter the banishing demon town. With that said, Ling Shiqi's body changed as he dispelled the wild demon blood beast physique. However, he did not show his true form. He turned into a big, rough man. Only his eyes still had some green light spots. Everything else was the same as a normal human being. The tiger head's laughter came to an abrupt end, and the power of the stars and moon in the sky also paused. The pair of lantern-sized tiger eyes flashed with an inexplicable light. After a while, the tiger head spat out a beam of light. It turned into a door in front of Ling Shiqi. The tiger head said, "Come in." Ling Shiqi knew that he was valuable enough to impress the tiger head. He took a deep breath and stepped into the door. He was ready to face the 2 7th-rank beasts. Meanwhile, the venom beast on the ridge beast's back widened its eyes in disbelief. It had never seen a demonic beast that could get close to 2 demonic beasts. Even a 6th-rank beast like it did not have the right to do that. But now, a half-demon enjoyed such treatment. At the same time that it was shocked, boundless jealousy and resentment arose in its heart. So what if you are powerful? You are still a half-beast with an impure bloodline. Just wait and see. If Ling Shiqi were to use his wild demon blood beast form anywhere else, he would most likely be recognized. After all, information about him was gradually spreading. However, the demonic beasts of the demonic Miasma mountain range had never left this place in their entire lives, so they had never heard of him before. Therefore, it was impossible for them to recognize him based on this. When Ling Shiqi stepped through the door of light, he was already in another space. The area here wasn't very large. He could sense that it was only about 100 miles in radius. However, most of the area was isolated from his perception. There must be restrictions protecting it. This thought flashed through Ling Shiqi's mind. He had never heard of another space in the depths of the demonic Miasma mountain range, otherwise Nine Leave would have mentioned it long ago. Furthermore, the demonic beasts would definitely not set up such exquisite formations and restrictions. From this scene in front of him, he could already confirm that there were still spirit cultivators here. Brat, watch your eyes. At this moment, a brawny man walked over. This man was bare-chested, and there was a crescent moon on his forehead. There was a mysterious star pattern engraved on his body, which was somewhat similar to the one on Ling Shiqi's body. Seeing this strong man, Ling Shiqi knew that this person must be the level 7 great demonic beast, the heavenly moon-winged tiger. However, Ling Shiqi had seen many heavenly origin realm experts and had even killed one with his own hands, so he was not afraid at all. The heavenly moon-winged tiger walked to Ling Shiqi and said condescendingly, "I am the demonic beast ancestor of the demonic miasma mountain range. Explain what you just said clearly. If you can satisfy this demonic beast ancestor will have a way to help you advance to level 7. But if you don't, you know what will happen to you." Ling Shiqi did not answer directly. Instead, he pretended to ponder. At the same time, he was also observing his surroundings because there should be another demon sable, but it did not appear. He said, "Demonic ancestor Star Moon, I am a half-demon. I can show my demonic aura and also show my human form. I have lived among the humans for decades and am proficient in the art of concealing my aura. Therefore, I can even enter the demon-suppressing town openly and collect information for the demon race. Just collecting information is not enough." This sentence did not come from the heavenly winged tiger, but from behind Ling Shiqi. Ling Shiqi turned around and saw a stooped old man walking over. This person's face was extremely ugly, especially his pair of hooked eyes that were filled with a sinister look. At a glance, one could tell that he was not a good person. He thought to himself, "The chaos demon Black Martin has finally appeared. Who is this ancestor?" Ling Shiqi bowed. "I am the chaos demon ancestor of the demonic miasma mountain range. Your origin is unknown. If you want to survive in the demonic miasma mountain range, you must show some sincerity." The chaos demon Black Martin's voice sounded very sinister, like the sound of bones rubbing against each other. Ling Shiqi smiled, "To demon race, since I am here, I can't come empty-handed. In fact, I have been hiding in the demon-suppressing town for some time. I know all the information in the town." The heavenly winged tiger's expression changed and immediately asked, "Tell us." The chaos demon Black Martin frowned slightly. It felt that the heavenly winged tiger was too anxious and lost the initiative. However, they had been holed up in the demonic miasma mountain range and knew almost nothing about the demon-suppressing town. Therefore, they also wanted to know the specific situation inside. Ling Shiqi answered, "As far as I know, the Thunder Fire Dynasty sent one of the 4 Dark Thunder Guards, Lu Xingji, to the demonic miasma mountain range. This person's cultivation is only at the late stage of the unity of heaven and man realm, but he is favored by the Thunder Fire Dynasty Emperor. He also brought many experts from the Dark Thunder Guards. The strongest among them is the Sky Origin Realm expert from the Imperial Hall of Worship. He dares to come to the demonic miasma mountain range when he is only at the late stage of the unity of heaven and man realm. He is courting death." The heavenly winged tiger sneered. The chaos demon Black Martin asked, "We have fought with the 3 Sky Origin Realm experts from the Imperial Hall of Worship. Only the one who can control lightning is stronger. As for the other 2, they are just average. This information is still not enough." Ling Shiqi smiled mysteriously, "To demon race, don't be anxious. The most important thing is that Lu Xingji is not on good terms with the 2 Sky Origin Realm experts who barged in not long ago. The 2 of them disobeyed orders and barged into the demonic miasma mountain range. When they returned, they refused to accept Lu Xingji, a junior commander. They have been quarreling for a long time. As long as the 2 of you are willing to lend me a hand, I am confident that I can sow discord and make them fight among themselves." The heavenly winged tiger and the chaos demon Black Martin fell silent. Ling Shiqi could see that they were tempted. The chaos demon Black Martin's eyes flashed and asked suspiciously, "How did you know about such a secret?" "To be honest, I have been living in the demon-suppressing town. This town is close to the demonic miasma mountain range and there are many of my race who come and go. So I am more or less exposed to the demonic miasma mountain range. I made use of this environment to hide my true identity. After a long time, I set up many methods and spies. That's how I got this information." Ling Shiqi explained. As long as the two of you can lend me something, I can make the experts in the demon-suppressing town kill each other. This way, there is nothing to be afraid of. If this is successful, the two of you can even lead my race to attack the demon-suppressing town and show off my race's might. If you fail, I will be the only one exposed. To the two of you, the demonic miasma mountain range will not suffer any losses. The chaos demon Black Martin thought about it carefully and felt that this matter was beneficial. The only thing it was worried about was what it would have to pay. What do you want to borrow? Ling Shiqi's killing intent flashed and said, a rank 6 demonic core. Chapter 780. How dare you? The heavenly winged tiger was furious. Ling Shiqi dared to mention the monster core in front of two rank 7 monsters. He had crossed the line. The mixed devil sable reacted differently. Instead of being angry, it was confused. A rank 6 monster core can make several Sky Origin stage cultivators and that majordomo kill each other. Are you toying with us? How dare I? Ling Shiqi explained, I have a secret technique that can plant a monster core into a human's body and cause them to mutate. They will look like half-demons, but they will only last for a short period of time before they explode and die. I have used this skill to escape from being hunted down many times. I am going to use it on Lu Xingji. Hey, the 4 majordomo who came to kill the monsters was a half-monster. I don't think I need to tell you what will happen to him. Besides, Lu Xingji has a good relationship with one of the Sky Origin stage cultivators. The Sky Origin stage cultivator will probably protect him. In this way, there will be internal strife. But Lu Xingji is one of the 4 majordomo of the Dark Thunder Guards. He must have powerful guards. Besides, there are 3 Sky Origin stage cultivators in the city. I am afraid you can't even get close to him. The mixed devil sable still had some doubts. Ling Shiqi smiled mysteriously, I have my ways. As long as you can lend me a rank 6 monster core, I will wait for your good news. He didn't continue to explain in detail. It was better for him to keep a certain degree of mystery. As expected, the heavenly winged tiger immediately changed its expression and smiled, it seems that you are quite capable. Your idea is good. We can have a try. We don't have a rank 6 monster core. But it doesn't matter. I can kill 1 monster for you. It was furious because of the monster core, but now it didn't care about the monster core at all, as if the rank 6 monsters under its command were just tools. Ling Shiqi said, I think the venom-ridged beast is very suitable. Easy. After saying that, the heavenly winged tiger suddenly disappeared. After a few breaths, it reappeared. Its right hand was covered with sticky green blood, and there was a huge 6th rank monster pill lying in it. Seeing this, Ling Shiqi's eyes narrowed slightly. The monster core of the spine poison beast was taken away in just a few seconds. How fast was the heavenly winged star tiger? A smile appeared on his face. He accepted the beast pellet and said, don't worry. In a few days, the demon suppression city will be in chaos. When that happens, how you want to deal with the city will be up to you. Ha ha ha, good. I'll be waiting for your good news. The heavenly winged tiger laughed. He raised one hand and a portal appeared behind the Ling Shiqi. Ling Shiqi cupped his hands and turned to leave. When he left the sealed space, a thin layer of cold sweat appeared on his forehead. It was impossible for him not to be nervous when facing 2 Class 7 great demons. Fortunately, he had the identity of a half-demon. Otherwise, even if he had the underworld as a life-saving trump card, his life would be in danger. His trip this time was not in vain. Although it was a short time, he confirmed that there were still mysterious spirit cultivators hidden in the demon miasma mountain range. He could also tell that the two great demons of the seventh step were also very afraid of the demon-suppressing city. However, Ling Shiqi had not guessed why the demon miasma mountain range would take the initiative to stir up trouble. The current demon miasma mountain range looked very powerful. On the surface, there were two Class 7 great demons and a hidden force behind them. In addition, there were many high-level demonic beasts and countless low-level demonic beasts. This force was comparable to a top sect like the Blood Cloak Pavilion. But even so, it was still not enough in front of the Thunderblaze dynasty. For example, this time, Ling Shiqi had failed to eliminate the demons. Even if the demon suppression city was destroyed, so what? Next, it would only attract more experts. Sooner or later, the demon miasma mountain range would be defeated. Regarding this point, the chaos demon Black Martin must have seen through it, but why did it still do it? What was their real purpose in doing this? This was what Ling Shiqi wanted to know the most, and what he was most worried about. He could also feel that the chaos demon Black Martin and the starry heavenly winged tiger did not trust him at all. The reason why they let him go and gave him the demonic core was because they wanted to try their luck. Anyway, they had nothing to lose. And only by doing this could Ling Shiqi truly integrate into the demon miasma mountain range, and only then could he further investigate their real purpose. At the same time, what he agreed to was an opportunity to deal with the demon miasma mountain range. When Ling Shiqi left, the starry heavenly winged tiger in the sealed space stopped smiling. Its face was full of shrewdness, and it was not as easily affected by emotions as before. He said in a deep voice, "Old Martin, can this half-demon be trusted?" The chaos demon Black Martin did not seem to like the title of Old Martin. He said snappily, "Nonsense, of course not. Don't forget, as a half-demon, he still has half of the human bloodline. Naturally, he might be on the side of the human race. Who knows, he might be someone sent by the demon-suppressing city to investigate. Then why did you ask me to let him in?" The starry heavenly winged tiger curled its lips. Only by letting him in and giving him some useful information can we know what he's going to do next. Only then can we see which side he's on. Saying that, the demon-mixed demon Black Martin laughed sinisterly. "If he really wants to join us and make a mess of the demon-suppressing town, we can also take the opportunity to attack the demon-suppressing town and let the Thunderflame Imperial Dynasty and all the spirit cultivator in the world know of the rise of my spirit demon clan. Also, after using that method to refine a half-demon with such strength, we can have another fighting force that is not weaker than you and me. Of course, it's a fighting force that is under our control." "Good, Old Martin, you're really scheming." The starry heavenly winged tiger laughed. The chaos demon Black Martin said angrily, "How many times have I told you, don't call me Old Martin? TSK, back then when that beautiful scorpion called you that, I didn't see you so angry." The chaos demon Old Martin's face suddenly became extremely gloomy. The starry heavenly winged tiger moved its feet and disappeared. Not long after, Ling Shiqi on the other side had already arrived at the edge of the demon miasma mountain range at an extremely fast speed. Under the activation of the supercilious eyes, he discovered that many experts had appeared on the city walls of the demon-suppressing city. Most of them were spirit cultivators from the Dark Thunder Guards, and there was also someone he was extremely familiar with. At this time, on the city walls of the demon-suppressing city, a beautiful figure stood alone, looking in the direction of the demon miasma mountain range. Suddenly, a cool breeze blew past, and a trace of surprise flashed across her eyes, but she immediately felt more at ease. She knew that Ling Shiqi had returned. After Ling Shiqi returned, he immediately gathered all the higher-ups. Before he could explain why he returned so quickly, he said, "Everyone, we need to put on a show next." Chapter 781. 2 days later, a dense demonic aura suddenly rose in demon-suppressing city. The appearance of this demonic chi was very sudden, causing the people in the city to turn pale with fright. Could it be a demonic beast from the demonic Miasma mountain range? Soon after, a monster covered in green venom dashed towards the city gate. Everything in its path was corroded by the venom. It was a terrifying sight. Demon. I didn't expect you to be a spy from the demonic Miasma mountain range. Two shouts resounded through the clouds. Then, 24 meters tall Dharma images appeared. One was a majestic water god, and the other was a palace made up of layers of arrays. When the two Dharma images appeared, the air in the entire demon-suppressing city froze under the boundless pressure. The towering palace swayed slightly, and an invisible force crushed down, causing the monster's escaping speed to plummet. Deep water's image formed a seal, and the heavenly river descended. The waves reversed, and a torrential rain began to fall within dozens of miles. The huge waves swept over, and the endless yuan qi of heaven and earth was about to kill the monster. However, at this moment, there was an explosion in the sky. Black clouds covered the sky, and lightning flashed. There was a terrifying beast hidden in the clouds. Deep Water's image raised his head and said, "Old man, you want to stop us?" A figure appeared above the majestic palace. It was Zhongjinliang. He said even more impolitely, "This person is actually a half-demon. He has been hiding in the Thunderflame dynasty for so long without being discovered. Now, he has finally revealed his weakness. Those who are not of our race must have a different heart. I think the change in the demonic Miasma mountain range is related to him. He must die. You and I are both from the Imperial Hall of Worship. Naturally, we have to be loyal to the dynasty. If you insist on protecting him, don't blame us for not showing mercy." In the sky, the lightning condensed into an image. It was the old man. He said awkwardly, "Although he is a half-demon, so what? Humans are divided into good and evil. You don't understand him. I can guarantee that he is absolutely loyal to the Thunderflame dynasty. There is no way he is related to the demonic Miasma mountain range." "Enough." Zhongjinliang said angrily, "I would rather kill the wrong person than let him go. At most, I will take all the blame. Get out of my way." The old man seemed to be enraged as well. "He's my brother. If you want to kill him, you'll have to step over my dead body first." Good brother. Let me see how you're going to stop the two of us." As soon as Zhongjinliang finished speaking, several different colored formations appeared in the sky. He had actually set up several formations with a wave of his hand. The formation fell, immediately blocking the monster and the old man. Lan Ruo sighed softly and said, "Now that things have come to this, don't blame me. Brother Zong, delay the old man. I will go and kill that monster." "Who dares?" the old man roared. Thunderclouds rolled as a lightning beast leaped out of the clouds towards Lan Ruo. The old man himself charged towards Zhongjinliang. A battle between Heaven Origin stage cultivators suddenly broke out in the town of monsters. This made the spirit cultivator and the residents of the city feel as if the sky was collapsing. As the saying goes, when immortals fight, mortals suffer. Fortunately, Zhongjinliang's array formation not only trapped the old man and the monster, but also blocked the shockwaves from their battle within the array formation, allowing many spirit cultivators to be safe and sound. However, they didn't dare to let their guard down and frantically retreated. They were also puzzled. Why would their own experts fight among themselves when everything was fine and dandy? From the conversation of the three Heaven Origin stage cultivators, it seemed to be related to a half-demon. Most of them had lived in the town of monsters for a long time and naturally knew of the existence of half-demons. And this half-demon's identity seemed to be extraordinary. Some wanted to kill, some wanted to protect, so they started fighting. They didn't have the mood to gossip, they were most concerned about their own safety. You cultivators who came to suppress the demons started fighting among yourselves. Who would go and suppress the demons? What if another beast tide happened at this time? What would they do? Of course, they didn't know that everything they saw was arranged by Ling Shiqi. That monster was none other than Ling Shiqi. He had refined the venomous spine beast's beast core and turned it into his beast essence battle runes. Hence, he had gained a part of the venomous spine beast's image and abilities. He arranged this show for the demon Sable and the heavenly winged tiger in the demonic Miasma Mountains. Otherwise, the two 7th rank monsters wouldn't believe him and wouldn't do anything. The reason why Ling Shiqi chose this day was that the Red Thunder Army would enter the town of monsters the next day. So far, the existence of Gu Hetong was a secret. He came to the town of monsters after Zhong Zhenliang and Lan Ruo. Except for the higher-ups, no one knew that he was here. Moreover, if the Red Thunder Army entered the town of monsters, so many people would definitely be noticed by the demonic Miasma Mountains. By then, the town of monsters might be in chaos for a while. However, with the Red Thunder Army guarding the town of monsters, the demonic Miasma Mountains wouldn't dare to invade. At this moment, on a piece of land not far from the town of monsters, several earthbind rats crawled out. Some of them were at the 3rd level, while some were at the 4th level. At the same time, several bird-type monsters were hovering in the sky. They were all paying attention to what was happening in the town of monsters. Squeak, squeak, these monsters talked with each other for a while. Then several flying monsters flew to the depths of the demonic Miasma Mountains. Soon, the demon Sable and the heavenly winged tiger got the news that the town of monsters was in chaos. In fact, they didn't need those low-level monsters to report. Even if they were deep in the center of the demonic Miasma Mountains, they could sense the powerful origin energy fluctuations in the town of monsters. They are really fighting. The heavenly winged tiger murmured. Then it turned around and asked, should we take the opportunity to attack the town of monsters? The demon Sable's expression changed. It was still trying to judge whether it was true or not. I can't see anything yet. They might be doing it on purpose. Let's wait for a while. Then it changed its meaning, but we should gather all the clans and get ready to attack the town of monsters at any time. Okay, I'll do it now. The heavenly winged tiger was about to leave, but a slender figure suddenly appeared. The person said in a sharp voice, I've only been away for a while, and you two are ready to attack the town of monsters. Who gave you the confidence? Who gave you the right to do it? The demon Sable and the heavenly winged tiger were both shocked when the person showed up. Deep fear flashed in their eyes. The demon Sable smiled, Mr. Zhou, you're back so soon. That thing must have gone well. A trace of displeasure flashed across the face of the man called Mr. Zhou. Don't ask about my business. Just do your own thing. You have to remember that it was me who helped you reach the 7th level. You even have the power beyond the sky origin stage. But since I can give you power, I can take it back. It turned out that this person was the one behind the scenes. Chapter 782. A flattering smile bloomed on the mixed demon Sable's face. Mr. Zhou is right, very right. The Star Moon heavenly winged tiger was even more obedient. Mr. Zhou looked at them with disdain, as if the two 7th rank beasts were trash in his eyes. Tell me what happened in the past few days. Mr. Zhou said condescendingly. The mixed demon Sable immediately told him about Ling Shiqi's appearance and promise. Mr. Zhou's eyes flashed. The appearance of this half-demon is too strange, but there is an internal conflict in the demon-suppressing city. Interesting. The Star Moon heavenly winged tiger asked tentatively, should we attack the demon-suppressing town? Of course, he and the mink wanted to. Only by doing so could the demonic Miasma mountain range shock the Thunderfire dynasty and even the falling star continent. Only by doing so could they achieve their goal. As for how they would bear the fury of the Thunderfire dynasty after attacking the demon-suppressing town, that would depend on Mr. Zhou. That was why they were flattering Mr. Zhou so much. Don't worry. Mr. Zhou was even more cautious than the mink. There are 3 Sky Origin Realm cultivators in the demon-suppressing town. It seems to be a big fight, but there are no casualties. You are all 7th rank beasts. That little fight won't affect your battle power much. So, we can't rule out the possibility that they are acting. Their goal is to lure you away from the demonic Miasma mountain range. The mink and the Star Moon Heavenly Winged Tiger's heart sank. They were able to force back the masters of the Imperial Hall of Worship twice because of the formation in the demonic Miasma mountain range. Also, their power would increase in this formation. Once they left the demonic Miasma mountain range, they would lose this formation. Their overall power would drop by 10 to 20%. Don't underestimate this 10 to 20%. In a battle between Sky Origin Realm cultivators, the slightest difference would be magnified infinitely. Mr. Zhou, you mean? Wait. Mr. Zhou said with certainty, since that half-beast has the ability to cause an internal conflict in the demon-suppressing town, let me see how chaotic it can be. Unless the 3 Sky Origin Realm cultivators are really angry, we can't act rashly. Mr. Zhou, you are very thoughtful. We are ashamed of our inferiority. Unknowingly, the 2 7th Order dire monsters had turned into bootlickers as well. At the same time, Zhongzhen Liang, Lan Ruo, and the old man were still fighting in the demon-suppressing city. They glanced at Ling Shiqi. They were hinting to Ling Shiqi if this was enough. 2 nights ago, Ling Shiqi and the others had already discussed it. They couldn't really kill each other as soon as they arrived. At most, it would be considered a sparring session. However, if this still did not attract the demonic Miasma mountain range's attack, then he would have to use his true strength. Ling Shiqi secretly opened the system map and found that a large number of monsters in the demonic Miasma mountain range were indeed gathering, but they did not seem to be attacking. He narrowed his eyes and nodded lightly. The old man and the other 2 immediately understood what he meant. After that, the enormous lightning beast behind the old man suddenly vanished, and it condensed into a lightning spear that flickered for 500 kilometers. Black clouds rolled, as if the sky was about to collapse. It actually looked like a heavenly tribulation. Lan Ruo's original body and the water god's illusion merged into one, and the figure was covered in a layer of gorgeous armor. Immediately, huge waves surged, and the demon-suppressing city was instantly submerged, turning into an underwater city. Zhongzhen Liang, like the thousand-hand Guanyin, released countless spells. In an instant, hundreds of formations appeared in the sky and on the ground. These formations were trapping formations, sealing Ling Shiqi and the old man in all directions. There were also illusion formations, layers of illusions constantly corroding their minds. If they made a mistake, they would be at the mercy of others. There were also endless killing formations. The slightest bit of carelessness would result in a tragic death. The 3 Sky Origin stage rankers had finally taken out their trump cards, and when such a destructive power exploded out, the first to suffer was the demon-suppressing realm and the many spirit cultivators. When the huge waves came crashing down, the demon-suppressing city immediately suffered countless casualties. Screams, cries, and sounds of fear filled the entire city. Not only that, even the sturdy city wall, which had been reinforced countless times, collapsed with a loud bang. The demon-suppressing city was broken. The funny thing was, it was actually broken by the Thunder Flame Dynasty's cultivators. When Ling Shiqi saw the hellish demon-suppressing city, he couldn't help but admire Zhongzhen Liang and Lan Ruo. That's right, admiration. Because everything he saw at this moment was both real and fake. The collapse of the city walls was real, but the people who died were fake. Actually, when Lan Ruo used her full strength, he activated the formation that took more than a day to set up, and moved all the spirit cultivators out of the demon-suppressing city. As for what Ling Shiqi saw, it was actually the scene displayed by Zhong Zhenliang's illusion formation. Not only the scene, even the expressions of these people, their fear and the smell of blood were exactly the same as the real thing. Under the hands of two Sky Origin stage cultivators who were proficient in formations, they were actually able to do such a thing. As expected, those who could cultivate to the Sky Origin stage were not simple. In the sky, the Water God, the Thunder Spear Blade and the Boundless Formation finally collided. At this moment, Ling Shiqi only felt that the earth was shaking, and the heaven and earth origin energy within a radius of hundreds of miles was like boiling water. Waves of amazing spiritual chi spread out. In the blink of an eye, the sky darkened and the space twisted. Boom, boom, boom. Under the aftermath, the demon-suppressing city was broken into pieces. Especially Ling Shiqi, who was so close, even a spirit gang realm cultivator would be directly crushed by the spiritual pressure. Even Ling Shiqi felt a little difficult to breathe. But what he cared about the most was not this, but what would the demonic miasma mountain range do? Mr. Zhou and the other two who were still in the center of the demonic miasma mountain range were still waiting. At this time, a roar came, and even hundreds of miles away, a large number of low-level demonic beasts panicked. Feeling this aura, the three of them looked at each other in surprise. The Star Moon Heavenly Winged Tiger said unbelievably, "I'm afraid they have done their best. They seem to be serious." The demon Sable didn't speak. He kept looking at Mr. Zhou, but his eyes were full of eagerness. Obviously, he intended to attack the demon-suppressing city. But the final decision was still in Mr. Zhou's hands. Mr. Zhou raised his eyes and looked into the distance. His eyes were a little empty, as if he could see what was happening hundreds of miles away. The demon-suppressing city is broken. He said these three words. What? Really? The demon Sable and the Star Moon Heavenly Winged Tiger asked one after another. It was not difficult for them to break the city wall of the demon-suppressing city. But the point was, once they showed up, the Sky Origin stage cultivators would naturally deal with them, so they didn't have time to break the city wall. But if other high-level demonic beasts attacked the city wall, they would suffer a great loss. The city wall had always been a big worry for them. Now that the city wall was broken, who could stop their army of demonic beasts? Mr. Zhou suddenly smiled sinisterly. It seems that we are lucky this time. Order to attack the demon-suppressing city. Chapter 783. Roar, roar, roar. The demons in the demonic miasma mountain range roared. Countless demons immediately rushed towards the demon-suppressing town with red eyes. The Star and Moon Heavenly Winged Tiger and the demon Sable clenched their fists tightly. How many years had it been? These demons were like fish on the chopping board, like livestock in a cage, at the mercy of the spirit cultivators. Every year, countless demons died in the hands of spirit cultivators. If not for the low-level demon's strong reproductive ability, the demonic miasma mountain range would have been slaughtered long ago. As a result, all the demons in the demonic miasma mountain range were filled with endless hatred for humans. This hatred had been accumulated for countless years. Today, the demon-suppressing town had been broken, and they had to repay the humans. With their blood, with their flesh and blood. The demon beast army rushed towards the demon-suppressing town. Ling Shiqi immediately captured the movement through the system map. He laughed in his heart, success. He was not afraid of the demon beast army, but he was afraid that the other party would not make a move. Although the walls of the demon-suppressing town had collapsed and the city was almost destroyed, it was only an empty city. The Thunderfire dynasty could easily rebuild it. As long as the demon beasts were lured out of the demonic miasma mountain range, it was equivalent to losing the protection and amplification of the mysterious array. And the demon-suppressing town was Ling Shiqi's home ground. He transmitted to the old man and the other two, "The fish has taken the bait, act according to the plan." Following that, the old man and the other two attacked even more fiercely. However, the old man was gradually unable to withstand the two of them. In helplessness, he could only take the monster Ling Shiqi and escape. A bolt of lightning flashed across the sky. Zhongzhen Liang and Lan Ruo immediately shouted, "Don't go." The two of them chased after them, leaving behind the ruins of the demon-suppressing town. Not long after, the demon beast army arrived and drove straight in. The star and moon heavenly winged tiger had a pair of wings on its back. It was shining with starlight and the shadow of the moon was heavy. He took the lead and rushed into the demon-suppressing town. In his eyes, the demon-suppressing town was already a river of blood. Only a few spirit cultivators who were lucky enough to survive were still wailing. A figure suddenly appeared in front of him. It was Xie Qiue, who promised to cause internal strife in the demon-suppressing town. Xie Qiue laughed and said, "What do you think, Star Moon Great Ancestor? I didn't go back on my word, did I? We took over the demon-suppressing city effortlessly." The Star Lunar Heavenly Winged Tiger smiled at first, but somehow, its heart skipped a beat. It had a bad feeling. The mixed devil black sable was one step slower. When it came to the Heavenly Winged Tiger, it could not help frowning. Something was wrong, very wrong. Even if the Sky Origin stage cultivators of the human race fought for one person, even if they could not hold back and broke through the city walls, they would not go as far as to slaughter all the spirit cultivators in the city. They clearly knew that the demonic miasma mountain range was coveting the demon-suppressing city, yet they still did such a stupid thing, unless the three Heaven Origin stage cultivators were crazy. But that was impossible. Therefore, both the demon sable and the Star Moon Heavenly Winged Tiger felt that something was amiss. Not long ago, they saw that the three Sky Origin stage cultivators were not around. They thought it was their best chance. But now, it seemed like everything was just a coincidence. Were these really just coincidences? The demon sable immediately made a decision and shouted, "Retreat, quickly retreat to the demonic miasma mountain range." The large number of demonic beasts under his command did not know what was going on. They could not wait to eat the remaining spirit cultivators. How could they be willing to retreat? All of a sudden, blinding rays of light shot out from the ground of the demon-suppressing citadel. Countless rays of light intertwined and formed an incomparably huge net, trapping all the demonic beasts within. At the same time, rolling heavenly lightning began to condense. The power of lightning was already somewhat restrained by these demonic beasts. The lightning aura that was comparable to the heavenly tribulation instantly caused many low-level demonic beasts to tremble. This was not the end. All the demonic beasts heard the roar of waves in their ears. In the air, huge waves wrapped in the water elemental energy of heaven and earth smashed down. The demon chi around the demon sable stirred. His unique demon chi covered the sky and covered the earth. With a point of his finger, the huge wave was instantly extinguished. But his face became even more gloomy. What is this? It's a formation. What a terrifying formation. Some 5th and 6th level demonic beasts that could speak human language were shocked. The demon-suppressing city had clearly turned into ruins. Where did this formation come from? The heavenly winged tiger and the demon sable immediately knew that they had been tricked. All of this was a trap. In the past 2 days, Ling Shiqi had not been idle. He naturally knew the importance of the demon-suppressing city's walls. Since he had decided to set up the walls himself, of course, he had to be fully prepared. Fortunately, Zhongzhen Liang and Lan Ruo were both formation masters. In the past 2 days, they had been setting up the formation with all their might. Once it was activated, the effect would be 10 times or even 100 times stronger than the city walls. The heavenly winged tiger grabbed Xie Qiue and said with a ferocious face, "It's you. From the beginning to the end, you were the one behind this. Go to hell. Demon ancestor, I'm innocent. I'm innocent." Xie Qiue turned pale with fright and shouted with a face full of panic, I didn't know this would happen. I clearly cast a spell to turn Lu Xingji into a monster, and also caused the Sky Origin stage cultivators to fight among themselves. I didn't know they didn't know about the formation in advance. Demon ancestor, please spare my life. Demon ancestor, please spare my life. How dare you quibble? I'll swallow you alive. The heavenly winged tiger opened its bloody mouth and was about to tear Xie Qiue apart. However, what Xie Qiue said made it hesitate. Demon ancestor, it has come to this. Even if you kill 10 of me, it won't help. The most important thing now is to find a way to return to the demonic miasma mountains. Although I'm not a 7th rank big monster, my strength is far beyond that of an ordinary 6th rank monster. I'm willing to bring up the rear for my fellow clan members. Even if I die here, it will be considered atonement. The heavenly winged tiger felt that Xie Qiue was right. Although this half-monster was abominable, its strength was indeed very strong. It could completely block several Unity of Heaven cultivators of the human clan by itself. Rather than being killed by the heavenly winged tiger, it would be better to use it to block the human cultivators. Even if it died, it would make the best use of it. Right at this moment, another grand formation appeared with a flash, and a black mass of people walked out from it. These were all experts of the 4 realms of Heaven realm. The 3 people in the lead stood in the void, announcing their identities. They were Sky Origin stage cultivators. The old man held the thunder spear blade that shone for eternity. He sneered at Xie Qiue and the 2 7th rank big monsters. You want to murder Steward Lu with such a small trick? Ridiculous. Since you set up a trap, we'll beat you at your own game. Zhong Zhenliang said, monsters are monsters. Even if you're a 7th rank big monster, your brain is still not good enough. Do you think you're so great just because you used the formation to suppress us in the demonic miasma mountains? Today, I'll show you what a real formation is. The demon sable's face was as black as the bottom of a pot. What a good show. I was careless this time. But don't be too self-righteous if you think you can win this time. Chapter 784. The last sentence made the old man and the others fearful. They were sure that there was a mysterious force behind the demonic miasma mountain range, but they didn't know how strong it was. Looking at the demon sable now, it wasn't weak. Mr. Zhou, please show yourself. Since the 3 of them showed up, we can kill them all together, the demon sable said to the air proudly. The old man and the others became nervous. Judging from the demon sable's tone, the Mr. Zhou he mentioned must be very powerful. Otherwise, the demon sable wouldn't be so confident. A difficult battle was in front of them. 1 breath passed. The old man looked around vigilantly. Lightning flashed in his eyes, but he didn't find anyone. 2 breaths passed. The star moon heavenly winged tiger also sneered. Mr. Zhou is not someone you can discover. 5 breaths. The so-called Mr. Zhou didn't show up. The old man and the others became more and more nervous. They were afraid that the mysterious expert would hide and give them a fatal blow. But after 10 breaths, the sky was still empty. The heavenly winged tiger's sneer stiffened. The demon sable's heart skipped a beat. What's going on? Where's Mr. Zhou? It was as if a cold wind blew. The scene was a bit awkward. Whoosh! The old man flicked his spear, and the divine thunder of annihilation raged endlessly. As the weather changed, an indomitable purple thunder pillar suddenly stood up. Soon after, bursts of lightning exploded from the lightning pillar. The sound of lightning clashing could be heard everywhere. It was so loud that it could pierce one's eardrums. Lon Roa's water god illusion was raised high in the air. It was as if a mysterious vase was looming. Black water surged out and turned into a black sea in an instant. It was enough to drown everything. Zhong Zhenliang said disdainfully, "What, Mr. Zhou? 7th rank demon. He's being used as a spear but he doesn't know. How funny." These people were all smart. They immediately saw that the power behind the demon sable didn't dare to show up. Maybe Mr. Zhou didn't want to show up, maybe he didn't have the confidence to take down the old man and the others, or maybe he was afraid of the Thunder Yen dynasty. Anyway, he didn't make a move. The reason why the demonic Miasma mountain range dared to infuriate the Thunderblaze dynasty was because they considered Mr. Zhou as their backer. Otherwise, they wouldn't have dared to attack the demon-suppressing city. Unfortunately, they were tricked by Ling Shiqi and Mr. Zhou twice in one day. He had been tricked. The demon chi of mixed devils surged up and condensed into the shadow of an ancient demon lord. Stars were spinning around the heavenly winged tiger, and the demon moon was hanging high in the sky. The two 7th-rank demons seemed to be going all out. It was 2 against 3, and they were in the enemy's formation. If they didn't go all out, they might really die here today. Xie Qiue, who was also the Ling Shiqi, had already activated his wild desolate evil demon blood beast body. He stood not far behind the demon sable and the star and moon heavenly winged tiger, as if he was about to welcome the attack of the spirit cultivator. At this moment, Gu Hetong's voice entered his ears. "Head Steward Liu, should I make a move?" Gu Hetong was hiding in the dark. He was one of the trump cards of the Ling Shiqi. Previously, no one in the demonic Miasma mountain range knew that he had come to the demon-suppressing city. If he suddenly made a move during the battle, it was enough to deal a fatal blow to the two demons. However, Ling Shiqi said, "General Gu, you don't have to make a move." What he was afraid of now was not the demon sable and the star and moon heavenly winged tiger, but that Mr. Zhou, that they had mentioned just now. Since Mr. Zhou did not appear, Gu Hetong could not appear either. Otherwise, his trump card would be exposed to the enemy in advance, which would only be bad. It was not difficult to destroy the rebellion in the demonic Miasma mountain range. The real difficulty was to get rid of the mastermind behind it. Although it was difficult for the 3 of them to kill the demon sable and the star and moon heavenly winged tiger, as long as they could kill one this time, the demonic Miasma mountain range would collapse. The only thing left was for the demon-suppressing city to counterattack the demonic Miasma mountain range. Therefore, not only Gu Hetong, but also himself could not be exposed. In the sky, the battle between the 3 sky origin stage cultivators and the 2 rank 7 demons had already begun. However, in order to not affect their own people, they flew directly to the 9th heaven, so Ling Shiqi could not see the specific situation. However, from the constantly changing sky and earth, the intensity of the battle was much stronger than the previous internal battle. That was the battlefield between the strong, and the battlefield below was even more tragic. Other than the 2 rank 7 demons, there were more than a dozen rank 6 demons in the demonic Miasma mountain range. There were many rank 4 and rank 5 demons. As for the low-level demons, there were simply too many to count. The demon-suppressing city's spirit cultivators of the 4 realms of heaven were barely equal. After all, Ling Shiqi had brought many experts over, but there were still thousands of low-level demons, which was also a huge problem. As the saying goes, ants can kill an elephant. Moreover, the low-level demons were all thick-skinned and could pose a huge threat to the spirit cultivators. A few rank 6 demons in the demonic Miasma mountain range were overjoyed. "Ha ha ha, children, they are few in number, we can bite them to death. Kill. All the demons rushed towards the spirit cultivators like hungry tigers pouncing on sheep. More than 10 people immediately walked out from the crowd. All of them were great experts of the unity of heaven realm. The strange thing was, there was one person sitting in the middle of them. It was an old man with one foot in the grave, but his eyes were filled with a cold light. This person was City Lord Qi of the demon-suppressing city. Back then, when Ling Shiqi proposed to self-destruct the demon-suppressing city, City Lord Qi did not agree to it. In the end, he did not have a better idea, so he agreed. City Lord Qi had guarded the demon-suppressing city for decades, and hated the demon beasts to the bones. He used a very soft but cold voice to say, borrowing the words of the old mixed demon sable, "Don't be too self-righteous." Just as he finished speaking, he heard a buzzing sound, and several colorful transmission arrays suddenly appeared. Following that, a dense group of spirit cultivators walked out from within. These spirit cultivators were all wearing armor, their footsteps were neat and tidy, their fighting spirits soaring to the sky. Large flags fluttered in the wind, with the words, "Scarlet Thunder Army." This was one of the strongest armies of the Thunderfire dynasty, the Scarlet Thunder Army. Behind the Scarlet Thunder Army, there were also a large number of spirit cultivators, and these people were the demon hunters who used to live in the demon-suppressing city. They did not escape, but chose to stay and hunt the demon hunters. Tens of thousands of spirit cultivators appeared out of thin air and surrounded all the demon beasts. All the demon beasts that had gained intelligence finally understood what despair was. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Boom. At this time, a monster that was neither human nor demon punched a spirit cultivator who was at the Unity of Heaven realm, and shouted, "I am Xie Qiue, even if I die here today, I will drag a few humans down with me, for the demon miasma mountain range." Before he could finish his sentence, a total of 6 Unity of Heaven realm cultivators surrounded him, but Xie Qiue was not afraid. This action immediately provoked all the demon beasts, and the rank 6 demon beasts in the lead roared towards the sky. For the demon miasma mountain range, kill. A great battle between humans and demons had begun. Chapter 785. Blood. Human blood, demon blood, blood qi filled the air. Broken limbs, broken arms, demon heads, all over the place. The battle between humans and demons was beyond anyone's imagination. The spirit cultivators of the demon-suppressing town thought that they could win, but the crazy demon beasts were extremely terrifying. Even if they were cut into 2, they could still bite 2 spirit cultivators to death before they died. However, the demon-suppressing town still had the absolute advantage. After 2 hours, the number of demon beasts was reduced to less than half. As the number of demon beasts decreased, the pressure on the spirit cultivators naturally decreased. As long as they fought steadily, killing all the demon beasts would not be a problem. At that time, not only would these people be able to obtain a large amount of demon beast resources, they would also be able to make great contributions. A beautiful tomorrow would be waiting for them. Of course, this was on the premise that they could live until tomorrow. The demon beasts did not give up, especially one of the demon beasts. He fought against several experts of the Unity of Heaven realm by himself, and from time to time, he would support other demon beasts. The powerful strength he displayed was deeply rooted in the hearts of the people. He was Xie Qiue. Naturally, he was Ling Shiqi. In fact, when Ling Shiqi was disguised as a half-demon, he was unable to unleash his full strength. The reason why he was able to fight against several experts of the Unity of Heaven realm was because the other party went easy on him. Right now, half of the people fighting with him were his subordinates, as well as Lei Yuanwu and 2 other experts of the demon-suppressing town. These people were the upper echelons of the demon-suppressing town and knew of Ling Shiqi's plan. Therefore, even though they looked like they were in a terrible state, they were still holding back. In the eyes of the demon beasts, it was completely different. The two spirit demon ancestors that they relied on could not even protect themselves, and the one who stood up for them was actually a half-demon that they did not know. Although some of the demon beasts below the 7th level had awakened their intelligence, most of them were about the same as teenagers. Their thoughts were quite simple, and Ling Shiqi's position in their hearts was actually higher than that of the 7th level demon beasts. Bang! Ling Shiqi used his forearms to force the few of them back. He roared, "Break out, I'll cover your backs." Now, there were only 7 or 8 6th-rank demonic beasts left. They knew that if they continued to fight, they would definitely die. The only way to survive now was to attack a weak point in the formation with all their strength and return to the demonic miasma mountain range. Coincidentally, at this moment, a bolt of divine lightning suddenly fell from the 9 heavens. With a loud bang, a large number of demon beasts died under the divine lightning. However, those 6th-order monster beasts didn't panic. Instead, they revealed looks of joy. This was because the divine lightning had coincidentally struck the array that trapped the demonic beasts, opening up a gap for them. This was an opportunity that couldn't be missed. Several rank 6 demonic beasts immediately led the rest of the demonic beasts to charge over madly. City Lord Qi sat at the back of the battlefield. He quickly ordered, "Stop them." Today, not a single demonic beast is allowed to escape. Ling Shiqi's demon Qi, devil Qi, and evil Qi surged wildly behind him as he transformed into a huge evil beast. All 4 of his arms struck out at the same time, and in an instant, 4 huge palms covered the sky and fell down. With one palm, the wind swept away the clouds. This palm was as majestic as a mountain. With one palm, raging flames soared to the sky. With one palm, waves wreaked havoc. 4 palms struck out at the same time, and the elemental energy between heaven and earth was continuously compressed. The momentum was actually not much weaker than the sky origin stage. Many of the spirit cultivators were shocked, no one dared to take it head-on, and could only retreat. This way, it would buy a lot of time for the demonic beasts. The other 6th-order demonic beasts also unleashed all of their skills. They were truly unstoppable. No matter who stood in front of them, they dared to swallow them whole. In that moment, the demonic beasts actually had the momentum to turn the tide. However, this could only be temporary. The high-level demonic beasts had unleashed all of their strength, but this kind of fighting strength would definitely not last long. If this dragged on, they would still die. Fortunately, their goal was not to fight, as long as they could escape from the array. He was getting closer and closer. They were getting closer and closer to the survivor, and the desire to live in their hearts grew stronger and stronger. The spirit cultivators of the demon-suppressing city were actually frightened by the momentum of the demonic beasts, and immediately, some of them moved to the sides, not daring to block the demonic beasts. Who? The first rank 6 demonic beasts rushed out of the array. Following that, a large number of demonic beasts rushed out like fish, and entered the demonic miasma mountain range at the fastest speed in their lives. Chase, chase! City Lord Qi was so angry that he stood up. The demonic beasts could scare others, but they could not scare the experts of the unity of heaven and man realm. Immediately, more than 10 of them rushed over. Ling Shiqi knew that even if these people went easy on him, he would not be able to stop them. After all, he could not use his true strength. With a thought, he activated a ball of purple demonic qi in his sea of consciousness. That was what 9 Leaf had left for him before he left. Originally, he could have used it as a trump card, but his own strength had improved rapidly, so this power was not that important anymore. It was most suitable to use it at this time. A huge amount of pure demonic qi rose up. Within the demonic qi, a strange buzzing sound could be heard. Anyone who heard this sound immediately felt their head grow heavy and their feet grow light. Those with lower cultivations directly fainted on the ground as if they had lost their souls. Even the great experts of the unity of heaven and man realm were affected by it. The impact was not small, but it might not be able to truly stop them. These people immediately hugged their heads and revealed a painful expression. It's a mental attack. I didn't expect the demonic beasts to have such means. Not good, he's going to escape. Ling Shiqi seized this opportunity and turned into a phantom, burrowing out of the array in a few blinks of an eye and escaping. This scene made City Lord Qi stomp his feet in anger and regret. The person behind him quickly held him up and secretly transmitted a message. City Lord, the show is a little too much. After Ling Shiqi escaped, the experts above the clouds continued fighting. The old man's side was 3 against 2, and with the support of the array, they suppressed the Chaos Demon Black Marten and the Starry Lunar Heavenly Winged Tiger from the beginning to the end. However, demonic beasts were demonic beasts after all. Their skin was thick, and their flesh was strong. Especially the Starry Lunar Heavenly Winged Tiger, which was already covered in injuries, but it became fiercer as it fought. The injuries would only stimulate its bloodlust and bestial nature. However, the old man and the other 2 knew that it was not realistic for them to kill the 2 demonic beasts. The old man transmitted a message: it's better to break one than to injure all 10 fingers. The Starry Lunar Heavenly Winged Tiger is fast and has high defense. Use all your strength to kill the Chaos Demon Black Marten. All right. The killing intent in the 3's hearts surged. If they could kill a 7th-ranked demonic beast in this battle, the demonic Miasma mountain range would not be able to cause any more trouble. However, just as they were about to kill, the origin energy of heaven and earth suddenly throbbed. A fist prince suddenly appeared, and the void instantly shattered. The violent origin energy of heaven and earth burst out for dozens of miles, and all the arrays nearby were completely destroyed. The old man and the other 2 were instantly shocked and were forced to retreat by this sudden powerful force. The Chaos Demon Black Marten and the Starry Lunar Heavenly Winged Tiger's faces twitched. Mr. Zhou had made a move. Chapter 786. The 2 beasts were tricked by Mr. Zhou and hated him, but they still took the chance to escape. When the old man wanted to give chase, it was too late. The Star and Moon Heavenly Winged Tiger was too fast, none of them could catch up. What a pity, what a pity. The old man sighed. Zhongzhen Liang's voice was heavy. Even if it's a pity, at least we forced Mr. Zhou to reveal himself. His strength is indeed terrifying. I'm afraid he's already at the edge of the Tongxian realm. Lan Ruo continued, we just don't know what this person's background is. The old man smiled, but today's battle was also very fruitful. The 2 beasts were heavily injured, and only a few thousand beasts escaped. Even if they had a conspiracy, it won't be much of a problem. That's right. Lan Ruo nodded. All of this was planned by head steward Liu. He was able to scheme against all the beasts in the Miasma mountain range. This kind of intelligence is rare. Even now, he still dares to sneak into the Miasma mountain range, disregarding his own safety. This courage is admirable. Such a wise and brave person deserves this position. No wonder His Majesty favors him so much. Zhongzhen Liang coughed dryly. Before, he was not convinced by Ling Shiqi, thinking that Ling Shiqi did not live up to his name. In just a few days, everything Ling Shiqi did was like adding blood on the tip of a knife. But not only was he fine, he even used schemes to kill 90% of the beasts. Just this point alone made Zhongzhen Liang feel ashamed of his inferiority. It's too dangerous for head steward Liu to enter the Miasma mountain range alone. Regardless of what kind of information he can gather, I think we should support him. The old man's eyes flashed. Clean up the battlefield first, rest for a day, then the army will enter the Miasma mountain range. But we can't go too deep. We have to advance 50 li a day, not only to put a lot of pressure on the Miasma mountain range, we also have to give them a chance to breathe, in case they counterattack before death. Also, wait for head steward Lu's orders. On the other side, Ling Shiqi and the remaining beasts finally escaped to the Miasma mountain range. With the protection of the formation and the natural miasma, they finally had a chance to breathe. Ling Shiqi caught up and came to the side of the seriously injured sixth-order monster beasts. They immediately showed a grateful expression. However, before Ling Shiqi could say anything, an angry roar came from the sky. "Xie Qiue, how dare you come back? Die!" It turned out that the heavenly winged tiger and the demon mink had escaped back. He was passing by and wanted to appease the remaining demonic beasts, but when he saw Ling Shiqi was also here, he was immediately furious. If it wasn't for this half-demon's idea, they wouldn't have rashly attacked demon-suppressing city. If they did not attack the demon-suppressing city, they would not have suffered so many casualties. With this battle, the demonic miasma mountain range was basically crippled. They no longer had the qualifications to challenge the Thunderflame dynasty. Although the Starlunar Heavenly Winged Tiger and the Chaos Demon Sable weren't dead, the demon-suppressing city's army would soon arrive. Unless they fled far away from the Thunderblaze dynasty, they would still die in the end. Therefore, when the Starlunar Heavenly Winged Tiger saw Ling Shiqi, he was so angry that he wanted to smash Ling Shiqi into minced meat with his paw. However, the sixth-order demonic beasts came forward to stop him at the same time. The Starlunar Heavenly Winged Tiger glared at them and roared, "Rebel! Are you rebelling? Demon Ancestor, please calm down. Demon Ancestor, if it wasn't for Xie Qiue who risked his life to stop the human masters, we would have been wiped out. Yes, it's all thanks to Xie Qiue that we are lucky enough to see the Demon Ancestor." The Starlunar Heavenly Winged Tiger paused, and his face was full of surprise. He took a deep look at Ling Shiqi and hesitated. He still wanted to kill Ling Shiqi, but now they had just suffered a great defeat. If he killed Ling Shiqi in front of them, the sixth-order demonic beasts would be dissatisfied. Normally, the Starlunar Heavenly Winged Tiger would never take these sixth-order demonic beasts seriously. Otherwise, he would not have killed the Ridgeback Venom Beast. However, at this time, the remaining sixth-order demonic beasts were the high-end combat strength that he needed. He could not ignore them anymore. The Mixed Devil Sable said, "In this case, you have made a great contribution. However, this happened because of you. Your contribution does not offset your fault. Come with us." Ling Shiqi cupped his hands and said, "Yes, Demon Ancestor. Even if you want my life today, I can give it to you at any time. Because I caused the demonic miasma mountains to fall into this state. I deserve to die. Cut the crap. Let's go." The Starlunar Heavenly Winged Tiger grabbed Ling Shiqi and flew straight to the center of the demonic miasma mountains. Ling Shiqi was carried forward by the Starlunar Heavenly Winged Tiger. He glanced around and found that the demonic beast's breath was in disorder. A seventh-order demonic beast's breath was in disorder. It could only mean that the Starlunar Heavenly Winged Tiger was seriously injured. Since the Starlunar Heavenly Winged Tiger was in such a state, the Mixed Devil Sable would not be any better. Ling Shiqi was relieved. When he entered the enclosed space for the second time, he would have to face these two seventh-order demonic beasts and Mr. Zhou. The news that the two demonic beasts could escape the old man's encirclement had been sent to Ling Shiqi by the secret method. He was finally going to see the real culprit behind the riot in the demonic miasma mountains. The two demonic beasts took Ling Shiqi through a layer of space into the enclosed space. Someone had set up a stone table with several cups of hot tea on it. Mr. Zhou was holding a teacup and drinking tea leisurely. Seeing this, the Starlunar Heavenly Winged Tiger grimaced, "Mr. Zhou. Our demonic miasma mountains are almost wiped out. How can you still be in the mood to drink tea? The mixed devil Sable said in an unfriendly tone. Attacking the demon-suppressing town was your final decision. Xingyue and I guessed that the demon-suppressing town was a trap. That's why we hesitated. Since you agreed to attack the demon-suppressing town, why did you leave us to die? Even if we are not as powerful as you, we don't want to be humiliated like this. Leave us to die. Mr. Zhou laughed strangely. If I leave you to die, only one of you can come back. When the three of them decided to kill the two demonic beasts, Mr. Zhou did save them. But what was this? As long as Mr. Zhou showed up, the three of them would not be a problem. They would definitely win this battle. But now, 99% of the demonic beasts in the demonic miasma mountains were dead. The two demonic beasts were dragged out with serious injuries. They could have won, but they had to lose. Was there something wrong with Mr. Zhou's brain? Not only were the two demonic beasts confused, Ling Shiqi was also very confused. According to the news from the old man, Mr. Zhou was far more powerful than them. He could even fight against three of them at once. So, if Mr. Zhou joined the battle, even with the help of Gu and Tong, they might not win. It was even more likely that they would fail. Then what was Mr. Zhou's purpose? Did he just treat the demonic miasma mountains as his plaything for fun? Ling Shiqi could not figure it out now, but he was sure that Mr. Zhou must have his own ulterior motive. Chapter 787. Why? The heavenly winged tiger gritted its teeth. Humph, boring. Mr. Zhou shook his head and put down his teacup. Let me ask you first. Why did you agree to cooperate with me? What do you want? The two demons looked at each other. Their eyes moved, and the demon Sable paused for a moment before saying, freedom. The history of our demonic miasma mountain range can be traced back to tens of thousands of years ago. But what are we, the demonic beasts, in these tens of thousands of years? Ordinary spirit cultivators think that demonic beasts are very scary and evil. There are even many spirit cultivators who come to hunt demonic beasts. They did not expect that in the eyes of demonic beasts, humans are the most terrifying. Every year, they kill countless demonic beasts to exchange for spirit stones, increase their cultivation, and then hunt even stronger demonic beasts. No matter what rank the demonic beast is, it cannot escape this fate. So what if the soul-departing scorpion successfully passed the tribulation a few years ago? In the end, it still self-destructed. What we want is nothing more than for the demonic miasma mountain range to stand on equal footing with humans. It is true that Xingyue and I were able to break through to the 7th level because of you, but we have already made it clear that we will recognize you as our master, but you did such a thing. The heavenly winged tiger said hatefully, the demonic miasma mountain range has been destroyed. If you do not give us an explanation today, even if we die here, we will bite off a piece of your flesh. The demonic aura around the two demons rose. Blood flashed in their eyes, as if they were really going to fight Mr. Zhou to the death. Mr. Zhou smiled mysteriously. Who said that you can't achieve your goal? There is one thing that you are wrong about. If you want the humans to face the demonic miasma mountain range, you can't rely on those low-ranked demonic beasts. What's the use of having so many low-ranked demonic beasts? You have seen how terrifying the Scarlet Thunder Army is. As the saying goes, the survival of the fittest. The demonic beasts that came back from the demon-suppressing town today are the foundation. Only then are they qualified to be baptized by the Blood Beast Sacrificial Refinement. Blood Beast Sacrificial Refinement. Hearing this, Ling Shiqi's heart shook. Hearing this name, he immediately thought of the top sect of the Northern Wei Empire, the Blood Beast sect. This Mr. Zhou was most likely from the Blood Beast sect. He did not know if he was representing the Blood Beast sect or the Northern Wei Empire. Ling Shiqi found the goal of the demonic miasma mountain range laughable. It turned out that the demonic miasma mountain range only wanted such a simple thing. What they wanted was to exist as equals with the human race, and they no longer wanted to continue being livestock. Ling Shiqi could understand, but he could only say that the demon sable and the heavenly winged tiger were too naive. This was not because they were simple-minded. After all, the two of them had lived for hundreds of years. Even a pig would have become intelligent. Unfortunately, they were wrong from the start. The reason why the demonic miasma mountain range could exist on the continent was because the three empires had treated it like a pigsty. Yes, it was a pigsty. Every year, the demonic miasma mountain range flowed out all kinds of demonic beast materials and heaven and earth treasures, fattening countless people. There were even a large number of sect disciples who used this place as an excellent training ground. It could be said that this was a place that could benefit both the imperial court and the spirit cultivators sect. And once a class 7 great demon was born in the demonic miasma mountain range, it would be silently dealt with. Last time, when 9 Leave advanced into a class 7 great demon, it was the people from the Blood Beast sect and the Imperial Beast House who came. They were Sky Origin stage experts from the Northern Wei Empire who could enter the demonic miasma mountain range to collect great demons, and the Thunderblaze Empire did not make trouble for them because the other party could deal with class 7 great demons. The threat of class 7 great demons was too great. If it was not handled well, there might be a beast tide, or even a massacre. Since there were people who came to deal with it, the Thunderblaze Empire was happy to do so. In short, the demonic miasma mountain range was a pigsty in the eyes of the three empires. It could be imagined that a few strong pigs in the pigsty could be on equal footing with the owner. Laughable. Naive. Ignorant. This situation was similar to the Blood Cloth Pavilion. They both wanted to break the current shackles, but the Blood Cloth Pavilion knew how to plan, so they had the Blood Seed plan that had lasted for hundreds of years. And the demonic miasma mountain range was grasped by someone who wanted to use them to cause great trouble for the Thunderblaze Empire. What made Ling Shiqi a little surprised was that the Blood Beast sect, or rather, the Northern Wei Empire, was behind this. Perhaps the change of imperial power in the Thunderblaze Empire was too smooth. Not only did the first Spirit Cultivator Assembly allow the new emperor to sit firmly on the throne, it also resolved the trend of the Spirit Cultivator sects joining forces. Thinking of this, Ling Shiqi suddenly felt that the Spirit Cultivator sects could actually join forces. Could it be that the Northern Wei Empire or even the Starfall Empire was secretly pushing for this? The Starlunar Heavenly Winged Tiger and the Chaos Demon Black Marten fell into deep thought after hearing Mr. Zhou's words. They could tell that Mr. Zhou seemed to be planning to refine the remaining demonic beasts into blood beasts. Others might not know what blood beast refining was, but the two of them knew very well. This was because they had become 7th-rank great demons through the blood beast sacrificial refinement. About a year ago, the mysterious Mr. Zhou came to the demonic miasma mountain range. He used his powerful cultivation of the Sky Origin stage to intimidate the demons. Then, he chose the Starlunar Heavenly Winged Tiger and the Chaos Demon Black Marten from more than a dozen Class 6 demonic beasts to undergo blood beast refining and set his own conditions. At first, they did not believe it, but after experiencing the blood beast refining, they actually passed the heavenly tribulation with Mr. Zhou's help and advanced to Class 7 great demons. The two demons did not understand what was going on. At first, they also shouted that it was a miracle. Later on, they began to familiarize themselves with their own strength, and Mr. Zhou set up some arrays in the demonic miasma mountain range. He also used a strange item to open up this small space. Until half a month ago, when Mr. Zhou suddenly said that he had something important to do and would leave for a period of time, the two demons' strength swelled, and they could not endure the endless slaughter of spirit cultivators. Only then did they launch a beast tide, which attracted Ling Shiqi. And now, Mr. Zhou actually said that he wanted to refine a large number of blood beasts. That meant that in the near future, the demonic miasma mountain range would give birth to a large number of Class 6 and Class 7 great demons. With such terrifying strength, even the Thunderblaze Empire had no choice but to take it seriously. But at this time, Mr. Zhou's gaze suddenly glanced at Ling Shiqi. This caused his heart to jump. The three in front of him could not hide so many secrets in front of him. It was definitely not because they trusted him, but because they wanted to silence him. Ling Shiqi had already made two preparations. One was to use all his strength to fight for a breath of time, then use his destiny technique to escape. If he could not even last a breath of time, he could only temporarily hide in the underworld. However, Mr. Zhou looked at him with admiration and said, "This half-fiend is not bad. Let's not talk about whether he was seen through by the people of Demon Suppression City or not. Let's not talk about whether he's a spy from Demon Suppression City. His cultivation and strength far surpass you guys when you were at the 6th level. If this half-demon is refined by the blood beast refining, his strength in the future will probably be above you. Let's start with him." With the underworld as his life-saving trump card, Ling Shiqi's courage has grown. Dragon, he was also a bet. Had two zz's, and Mr. Zhou did it now did it had, so, he did, so, he was, him was, so, and he, sure, was to him, he was. To avoid, to avoid, to avoid to the end. Go. Boom. Ling Shiqi activated the wild demonic blood beast physique and arrived at the center of the blood beast altar with a single step. Mr. Zhou looked at Ling Shiqi and said, "Your demon qi is mixed with devil qi and evil qi, which may be the reason why you're so strong. But you're a half-demon after all, and the demon beast blood in your body is not pure. Plus, the devil qi and evil qi are mixed, so your chances of success are not high. If I fail, I fail. I'll just die," Ling Shiqi said calmly. "Well, you're more courageous than these two. Let's start." Mr. Zhou ignored the two demons' ugly faces. He made a gesture with his hands, and the whole space was filled with boundless blood qi. At the same time, there seemed to be thousands of beasts roaring and shaking the space. Ling Shiqi's eyes were suddenly stained with endless scarlet. With him as the center, blood-red spells flashed one after another. After those spells appeared, something strange happened. The corpses of the demon beasts in this space grew flesh and bones, and they came back to life. No, Ling Shiqi blocked it with his divine soul and immediately found that it was just an illusion. However, there were indeed a large number of blood-red beast shadows floating out and gathering in his direction. Not long after, thousands of blood beast shadows hovered above Ling Shiqi. Mr. Zhou changed his gesture, and immediately, a blood beast shadow entered Ling Shiqi's body. He suddenly felt a wild, violent, and ferocious power pouring into his body. However, Ling Shiqi felt a little strange. It was not that the power was too strong and made him uncomfortable. His body was also very strong and could completely contain this power. The main reason was that this power felt a little familiar. But he couldn't remember it at the moment. Then, several blood beast shadows poured in one after another. Ling Shiqi's mind flashed, and he finally remembered this feeling. That was the Beast Essence demonic technique. When he was still on Blood Mist Island, he accidentally entered an underground space and took the risk to obtain an incomplete Beast Essence demonic technique. The reason why he came to the demonic miasma mountain range last time was because he cultivated this technique. He could refine the demon cores of demon beasts to improve his cultivation. Because of this, he accidentally met Nine Leave. At this moment, he felt the aura of the Beast Essence demonic technique from the power that invaded his body. From this, he was sure that Mr. Zhou must be from the Blood Beast sect. As such, Ling Shiqi mobilized the Heaven Fiend 9 underworld demonic beast devouring blood record that he hadn't used for many years. This was the first cultivation method he had fused together, and it included the incomplete demonic beast origin technique. After using this technique, the power of the blood beast shadows immediately became much more docile. Ling Shiqi smoothly converted them into his own power. Seeing Ling Shiqi easily absorb several blood beast shadows, Mr. Zhou was a little surprised. Even the Star Moon Heavenly Winged Tiger and the Demon Mixed Demon Sable could not absorb power so quickly. He thought to himself, this half-demon is really not simple. Perhaps it won't be long before a 7th rank half-demon is born from my hands. Thinking of this, Mr. Zhou's heart surged with excitement. In the next moment, waves upon waves of blood beasts pounced towards Ling Shiqi, and Ling Shiqi took them all in. The demonic qi on his body surged crazily, and his physique grew even more ferocious. Time passed. About a day later, Mr. Zhou's forehead was covered in sweat, but he was getting more and more excited. Because Ling Shiqi had absorbed thousands of blood beast shadows so far, his aura had reached the peak of a 6th rank demon beast. Just as he was about to cultivate an unprecedented 7th rank half-demon beast, an accident happened. The Star Moon Heavenly Winged Tiger behind him suddenly revealed its true form. It was a huge white tiger that was dozens of feet tall and shone with the light of the stars and the moon. On the back of the white tiger was a pair of wings that were 2 to 3 feet long, with mysterious star patterns engraved on them. The Star Moon Heavenly Winged Tiger roared to the sky, and in an instant, strange phenomena appeared. In the blood-red space, there were specks of starlight and a silver moon hung high in the sky. However, both the starlight and the silver moon emitted terrifying spiritual energy fluctuations and murderous intent. The demon mixed demon sable quietly hid its body. A thick layer of demon aura surged from the ground and covered the entire space. The demon aura rolled up like waves, condensing into demon aura tentacles that slapped at Mr. Zhou. The two demons shouted at the same time, "You think we are nothing? You think the demons are ants? You deserve to die." Chapter 789. Outside the demonic Miasma mountain range, tens of thousands of Scarlet Thunder Army and demon hunters, as well as the city guards of the demon-suppressing city, were gathered here. The old man, Zhongzhen Liang, and Lan Ruo floated in the air. Their speed was not fast, because the weakest demonic beasts that escaped back to the demonic Miasma mountain range were at the 4th level. There were even more 5th-level demonic beasts. Most of the Scarlet Thunder Army and demon hunters were low-level spirit cultivators. These people did not have the ability to fight against high-level demonic beasts. What the old man and the others cared about the most was not the Star and Moon Heavenly Winged Tiger and the demon Black Marten, but Mr. Zhou behind them. Especially at this moment, everyone was deep in the demonic Miasma mountain range. With the miasma and array affecting them, they had to be careful. What made the old man a little worried was that after a day had passed, he had not received any news from Ling Shiqi. There were only two possibilities. Either Ling Shiqi was beside the two demonic beasts and did not have the chance to send any news, or he had already met with an accident. The old man was leaning towards the first possibility, but he was still a little worried. He did not have a deep relationship with Ling Shiqi. Perhaps it was because of benefits that he got close to Ling Shiqi and pulled him into the elite hall. However, after spending some time together, he had long recognized Ling Shiqi. Whether it was talent, strength, or conduct, they were all to the old man's liking. Furthermore, Ling Shiqi was a popular person in front of His Majesty. If something really happened, the old man and the others would not be able to escape punishment. Other than the old man, there was another person in the crowd who was even more worried about Ling Shiqi's safety. This person was Delta Origi. Delta Origi's purpose in coming to the demonic Miasma mountain range this time was purely to leave the imperial capital to hide, and did not think of achieving anything. In the short few days in the demon-suppressing city, facing the extremely complicated situation, Ling Shiqi was able to find a way to take the risk alone and win a great victory. This caused Delta Origi's heart to be filled with mixed feelings. First of all, Delta Origi were prideful creatures. Back on the Blood Mist Island, her cultivation was far superior to Ling Shiqi's, but her battle prowess was not as good as Ling Shiqi's. Later on, even though Delta Origi cultivated with all her might and encountered some opportunities, and her cultivation realm was already at the top among her peers, she was still surpassed by Ling Shiqi. And now, Ling Shiqi had pulled ahead by an entire realm. Unknowingly, all the Delta Origi could see was Ling Shiqi's back. In terms of cultivation and strength, she believed that she would never be able to catch up to Ling Shiqi in this lifetime. In the past 2 days, she had once again witnessed Ling Shiqi's ability to solve most of the problems in the demonic Miasma mountain range in a very short period of time. This ability was even more astonishing. In other words, Ling Shiqi was becoming more and more outstanding, more and more powerful, and had the confidence to stand on this side of the world. He could even scold experts of the Sky Origin stage without hesitation. But what about Delta Origi herself? Ever since she entered the headquarters of the Discipline Commission, she had spent most of her time in closed-door cultivation. Occasionally, she would go out to carry out missions to gain experience, and the rest of her leisure time would be used to deal with some necessary connections. She had a position in the Discipline Commission, but her presence was not strong. Perhaps the people who paid the most attention to her were the young talents. Of course, those people were attracted to her beauty and talent, but compared to Ling Shiqi, these people were like the difference between heaven and earth, and she was too lazy to even look at them. Thinking of this, Delta Origi felt a little proud. However, she also thought that as Ling Shiqi's strength increased, the gap between them would slowly widen. Perhaps one day, she would not even be able to see Ling Shiqi's back. This also made Delta Origi feel a sense of urgency. Delta Origi walked with the crowd with mixed feelings, but suddenly, she felt a sharp pain in her heart. The pain came inexplicably, as if a piece of her heart was missing, as if she had lost something important. She suddenly exclaimed, "Lang! Lu Xingji is in danger." In the enclosed space in the center of the demonic Miasma Mountains, the heavenly winged tiger and the demon sable suddenly burst out and attacked Mr. Zhou with all their strength. Mr. Zhou had been controlling the blood beasts for a long time, which consumed a lot of energy, and now seemed to be the most critical moment. Otherwise, he would not be so excited. But this was also the moment when Mr. Zhou's vigilance was at its weakest. The two monsters' timing was very tricky. Mr. Zhou was furious, and then he sneered, "Ridiculous, you are trained by me, and you want to kill your master. You are courting death." He continued to control the blood beasts with one hand, and held a dark golden machete with the other hand. The machete seemed to have a bloody cave on it, which looked very evil. The machete shook slightly, and a sharp aura tore the void, exuding a murderous aura. In the sky, the stars and the moon surged and smashed down majestically. On the ground, the demon sable's tentacles were like countless evil spirits from hell. Mr. Zhou's eyes flashed with disdain. When the machete slashed down, it was as if the sky was torn apart, and so were all the forces of the stars and the demon chi. The two monsters' powerful attacks were so weak in front of Mr. Zhou. Mr. Zhou became more arrogant, "Not to mention that you are seriously injured. Even if you were in your best condition, you would not be able to defeat me. I wanted to keep you alive as pawns, but now it seems that I have raised two ingrates. Fine, fine, your demon elixir and demon body are worth a lot, so it is not a loss." Judging from his tone, the two monsters' lives were already in his hands, and he could take them away at any time. Then he pointed his finger, and two fist-sized blood balls appeared. The Star Moon Heavenly Winged Tiger and the Demon Sable's eyes suddenly shrank, as if they had seen something extremely horrible. You didn't expect it, did you? In fact, when you were unconscious after accepting the blood beast's sacrifice, I took away a part of your natal demon blood and planted a restriction in it. Your lives are only in my hands. Humph, demon beasts are demon beasts, and you want to be on equal footing with the human race? Dream on. Now, if you are willing to kneel down and admit your mistakes, I can give you a chance to redeem yourself. Mr. Zhou thought that the two monsters might give in or beg for mercy, but they laughed at this moment. How dare they laugh when they are about to die? Mr. Zhou's heart was filled with rage, and he was ready to kill these two disobedient monsters. However, the demon Sable said something that made Mr. Zhou's heart tremble. You think we don't know that you took away our natal demon blood? The next moment, the two monsters' bodies quickly shriveled like a deflated balloon, and the two blood balls in Mr. Zhou's hands rapidly expanded. Suddenly, the two balls of blood exploded. The violent explosion stirred up the chi of heaven and earth, almost detonating the entire enclosed space. Endless demon chi burst out, causing the space to shatter, and the power was immeasurable. Chapter 790. Mr. Zhou was at the center of the explosion. He could no longer maintain his attitude of being in control. Instead, he exclaimed, "You're crazy. You actually tampered with the natal demonic blood." Before his voice could be heard, it was drowned by the extreme demonic power. However, in the terrifying heat wave of demonic power, there was a strange roar of a beast. One could vaguely see the shadow of a giant beast, with a blood saber in its mouth. This was not a real spiritual weapon, but it was derived from Mr. Zhou's cultivation. It was no worse than an 8th-level Earth soldier. The blood saber turned into a blade of slaughter and slashed down. The entire space was filled with the saber. Even the heaven and earth were wailing. Ling Shiqi, who was still on the altar, was a little embarrassed. He forcibly suppressed the power that was about to go berserk in his body. If he escaped now, it would be equivalent to exposing himself. If he did not escape, he would be affected by this terrifying power. At this time, layers of blood-red light screens rose around the altar. On the light screens, there were pictures of strange beasts. Ling Shiqi thought, Mr. Zhou still has the time to protect me. It seems that the two demons can't do anything to him. What is his cultivation level? After Mr. Zhou's saber, all the demonic aura was swept away. He was like a king in this space. His strength was deeply rooted in people's hearts. The space was quiet again. Looking at the heavenly winged tiger and the demon sable, the two demons had become very shriveled. All the essence and blood in their bodies had been burned out. Just now, they had risked their lives to attack, but still failed. However, Mr. Zhou did not have it easy either. His body shook slightly, and the strange beast's shadow dissipated. His face was pale, and his voice was a little unsteady. You're really capable to force me to this point. Why don't you just be my dog? Why do you have to court death? The two demons knew that they would definitely die today, but at this moment, they had no intention of begging for mercy. On the contrary, the two demons' eyes flashed with bloody light, showing their ferocity. They roared, "Demons swear not to be slaves." Then, the two demons used the last of their strength to charge at the Ling Shiqi. This scene made Mr. Zhou's expression change. The Ling Shiqi was at the most critical moment of the blood beast's sacrificial refining. If he succeeded, the Ling Shiqi would become his proudest work. He could not afford to lose it. The golden scimitar slashed out, splitting into hundreds of scimitar lights. Each of the scimitar lights could easily tear open the two demons' skin and flesh, leaving behind horrifying wounds. The Starlunar Heavenly Winged Tiger and the mixed demon Black Marten did not resist at all, nor did they dodge. They allowed the saber light to cut their bodies. On the other hand, Mr. Zhou's face darkened. He had a bad feeling about the two demons' suicidal behavior. In the next moment, the two monsters roared at the sky. Immediately, two beasts left their bodies and instantly surrounded the Lingshiqi. Demon soul. Mr. Zhou shouted in shock, "You are not a real 7th-rank demon beast. How can you have a demon soul?" Demon soul was a soul that would only be born when a demon beast advanced into a 7th-rank demon beast. It was somewhat similar to the divine soul of a spiritual caster in the Tianyuan realm. It could live outside the body for a period of time. Mr. Zhou knew very well that the mixed demon Black Marten and the Starlunar Heavenly Winged Tiger had broken through by secret techniques. Although they had the power of a 7th-rank demon beast, they did not have a demon soul. But now, the two demons' demon souls had left their bodies. How could he not be surprised? The two demons' demon souls immediately went into the sea of consciousness of the Lingshiqi. When they arrived, they were first stunned. Because this was not the sea of consciousness, but a mysterious starry universe. Stars of different sizes, shining with all kinds of strange lights, were moving according to a mysterious pattern, as if they contained the truth of the great Tao. Lingshiqi's divine soul naturally saw the two demons. He waved his hand, and countless stars slowly approached. Feeling the pressure, the dark fiend Black Mink was the first to react. They weren't here to enjoy the scenery, and he hurriedly said, "Xie Qiue, we have no ill intentions towards you. On the contrary, we'll even give you an extraordinarily great fortune." Lingshiqi narrowed his eyes and said, "I'm all ears." "There's no time to talk." The Starlunar Heavenly Winged Tiger hurriedly said, "Our bodies are almost destroyed, and our demon souls can't hold on for long. At the last moment, we can give you all our power and make you a 6th-rank half-demon beast with the power of a 7th-rank demon beast. But you have to promise us that you will kill Mr. Zhou." At the end of the sentence, the Starlunar Heavenly Winged Tiger's eyes were full of resentment and hatred. The mixed demon Black Marten seemed to be still worried. He added, "Don't be obsessed with the so-called blood beast sacrificial refining. This kind of secret technique against nature has a huge flaw. Take us for example. Although we are 7th-rank demons, our lifespans are rapidly decreasing. Even if we do nothing, we can only live for 1 or 2 years at most. You are a half-demon beast. Even if you succeed in your advancement, you will only live for a few months." Hearing this, Lingshiqi thought to himself, "I see." From their conversation and actions with Mr. Zhou, he could almost guess what happened. Basically, the powerful Mr. Zhou suddenly came to the demonic miasma mountain range one day. Then, he chose 2 demons among the many 6th-rank demons and used blood beasts to refine them, giving them the power of a 7th-rank demon beast. Of course, there was a price and a condition. The price was that their natal demon blood was taken by Mr. Zhou, and their lives were in the hands of others. Fortunately, the 2 demons were smart and had already tampered with their natal demon blood. The other thing was their lifespan. The lifespan of demons was much longer than that of humans. The 6th-rank 9-Leave and the mixed demon Black Marten had already lived for hundreds of years. After reaching the 7th rank, their lifespans were greatly extended. If they did not fight, they could even live for 2,000 to 3,000 years. But the 2 demons said that they only had 1 year left. It was obvious that the side effects of the blood beast sacrificial refining were endless. As for Mr. Zhou's condition, it was probably to let the 2 demons be his master and continue to use blood beasts to cultivate demons to fight against the Thunderblaze dynasty. But Mr. Zhou did not expect that the 2 demons were already prepared from the moment he appeared. If Mr. Zhou had not tricked them and caused so many demons to die in the demonic miasma mountain range, they might not have resisted. It was Mr. Zhou who thought himself clever that made the 2 demons determined to kill him. How could it be easy to kill such an expert? The two demons took advantage of Mr. Zhou's poor state and used all their strength to attack him without injuring him. It was obvious that Mr. Zhou's strength was something Lang Shiqi had never seen before. Now, the two demons actually wanted him to kill Mr. Zhou. Lang Shiqi shook his head and said, "You think too highly of me." "No." The mixed devil's sable said with certainty, "You are in the middle of the blood beast sacrificial refining. Do you know that the thousands of blood beast shadows are the souls of our race? Even though they have lost their consciousness, deep in their souls, they have long wanted to tear Mr. Zhou apart. After Xingyue and I die, we will turn into remnant souls to command all the blood beasts. At that time, you can take over the blood beast sacrificial refining and refine Mr. Zhou. Moreover, don't think that he is fine. In fact, he is only strong on the outside. He has been maintaining the blood beast sacrificial refining for so long that more than half of his spiritual energy has been consumed. Just now, when he used the blood saber, he even used his trump card. Now, his strength is not even half. It is not impossible to kill him. Besides, if you don't kill him, you will die in his hands sooner or later. What are you hesitating for?" The two demons abandoned their demon bodies and would rather destroy their demon souls to kill Mr. Zhou. It was obvious that they hated Mr. Zhou to the core. Lang Shiqi's eyes flashed and he said resolutely, "The demon race swears not to be slaves." Chapter 791. The two demons were overjoyed. Then, they disintegrated themselves in Lang Shiqi's spiritual sea. Their demon souls turned into countless light spots and merged into his spiritual sea. In the outside world, Lang Shiqi's body suddenly underwent a huge change. Boundless demon energy rose from his body. However, within the dark demon energy, there were faint dots of starlight twinkling. In the blink of an eye, all the demon energy suddenly shrank. Lang Shiqi was now more than 10 feet tall. His original 4 arms had turned into 6. A pair of huge wings spread out from his back. Starlight swirled around them. It was very mysterious. In addition, Lang Shiqi's skin and flesh had turned dark. His body was covered with ferocious scales and spikes. Behind him, there was a slender tail that swayed gently. His entire body emitted a terrifying demon energy. It was mixed with demon energy, evil energy, and blood energy. He looked like an evil spirit that had crawled out from hell. Especially his pair of blood-red eyes, which were filled with endless killing intent. Mr. Zhou smiled and said with interest, "The two of them gave all their power to you. Why? Do you want to kill me first? But don't forget that you are still in the blood beast altar. Your life is still in my hands. Just stay here. Now that you have the power of those two ingrates, the blood beast altar will definitely succeed. When you reach the 7th level, your strength will far surpass most of the Sky Origin stage cultivators. You might even be close to me. You should know what to choose, die or gain power that you will never be able to reach in your lifetime." Lang Shiqi also smiled. He clenched his 6 arms and an unprecedented power ran through his body. The reason he agreed to the two demons' conditions was because of this powerful power. Mr. Zhou's blood beast altar had pushed Lang Shiqi to the peak of the union of heaven and man realm. Unfortunately, this was where he stopped. He was not a half-demon and could not advance through the blood beast altar. Now that he had the power of the two demons, even Lang Shiqi himself did not know how strong he was. However, he was sure that in terms of pure strength, he was definitely not weaker than a Sky Origin stage cultivator. If the two demons could really reverse the blood beast's sacrificial refinement, there was still hope for him to kill Mr. Zhou. Lang Shiqi still didn't know Mr. Zhou's true identity and purpose. In short, he was a person who deserved to be killed. It would be best if he could kill him, but if he couldn't, he could just escape to the underworld. Don't forget that there are 4 sky origin stage cultivators in the demonic miasma mountains. Once Mr. Zhou leaves the enclosed space, he will be surrounded by the 4 sky origin stage cultivators. Ling Shiqi clenched his fist, and the 1000 illusion Dao sword and bloodstained star demon saber appeared in his hands. The demon race is truly disappointing. Mr. Zhou sighed. What a pity. You could have been my proudest creation. He made several seals in succession, and thousands of blood beast phantoms suddenly flew out from the altar. If these phantoms all entered Ling Shiqi's body, he would immediately explode and die. However, at this moment, a strange scene occurred. The heavenly winged tiger and the demon sable suddenly appeared from the phantoms all over the sky. Then, the 2 demons turned into fine threads and spread out. They seemed to be sending some kind of message. All the blood beast phantoms in the altar trembled slightly at the same time, and then looked at Mr. Zhou fiercely. Mr. Zhou opened his mouth, and his face was full of disbelief. At this moment, he couldn't control the blood beast phantoms. He suddenly made a seal, but the blood beast phantoms didn't move at all. They didn't listen to his command at all. The blood beast sacrificial refinement was a secret skill that the blood beast sect had developed for a long time. They spent hundreds of years to collect the phantoms of the blood beasts. No one knew how many demonic beasts they had killed. These demonic beasts naturally wanted to kill Mr. Zhou even in their dreams. Now that the altar was out of control, all the blood beast phantoms flew up into the sky, densely packed as if there was no end to them. Mr. Zhou was stunned. Even though he was at the peak of the sky origin stage, he couldn't hide his shock. He never expected the heavenly winged tiger and the demon sable to do this. Before the 2 demons died, they not only used their own demonic blood to weaken Mr. Zhou's power, but also passed their power to the Ling Shiqi, which greatly narrowed the gap between them. In fact, from the 2 demons' point of view, this wasn't the most important thing. The most important thing, which was also the biggest threat to Mr. Zhou, was the countless blood beast phantoms in the blood beast altar. Now, all the blood beast phantoms covered the sky. The hatred and murderous intent soared up into the sky, and even made the demonic wind blow in the air, forming a horrible storm. One blood beast phantoms wasn't strong, but when there were enough of them, even Mr. Zhou showed a trace of fear. Tens of thousands of blood beast phantoms rushed toward Mr. Zhou crazily. Mr. Zhou was a sky origin stage cultivator after all. He instantly picked up his scimitar, and the blood chi and metal chi around him turned into a strange beast. This strange beast looked like it was pieced together by several demonic beasts, and it was very strange. Seeing the strange beast appear, countless blood beast phantoms rushed over even more violently. Unfortunately, they couldn't even get close to Mr. Zhou before they were melted by his powerful spiritual power. But they still swarmed over like moths to a flame. At the same time, the Ling Shiqi also moved. Ghostly chi rose up behind him, and a gloomy, terrifying, and ominous gate of hell appeared in the world. The gate of hell opened, and suddenly, the sealed space swayed, and countless ghosts returned to the human world from the netherworld. The gate of hell. The Ling Shiqi stabbed out with his 1000 illusion Dao sword, and with a shocking sword intent, a sword fairy phantom stepped out. Immediately, the Ling Shiqi's spiritual power strengthened, and tens of thousands of ghosts turned into a faint green light and merged into the sword fairy phantoms. Using the heavens to control the sword, using the gods to control the sword, and using the ghosts to control the sword, the ghost god's sword. At the same time, the blood-soaked demonic blade slashed down, and it split into 3 blades. The first blade had a misty color, and it slashed the physical body and the primordial spirit. The second blade was torrential with demonic flames, and its demonic power was unparalleled. The third blade shone with Buddhist light, purifying everything. A flash in the pan. A flash in the pan, where the gods, demons, and Buddhas merged into one. It wasn't over yet. The four arms behind the Ling Shiqi's back struck out with a punch, a palm, a finger, and a seal. That punch was full of yang energy, and it had a domineering aura that could devour mountains and rivers. Ling Shiqi had comprehended a large number of cultivation techniques and spiritual techniques for a long time. He imitated the Li family's patriarch, and fused all his spiritual techniques into his strongest move. This punch was based on the domineering power, the tyrant fist. With that palm, a Vairocana image appeared behind the Ling Shiqi, and the boundless Buddhist light saved all living things. The giant palm covered the sky, and it carried the power of Vajra to vanquish evil. Not only that, but a dragon's roar sounded, and a golden dragon coiled around the Vairocana image, burning everything with golden flames. The golden dragon flames merged with the Vairocana divine palm, and it was the Vairocana dragon flame palm. With a finger, endless illusions exploded. Ling Shiqi integrated the illusions into his finger technique, and it was the Thousand Autumn Dream Finger. As the seal fell, all the power of heaven and earth and the surroundings was repelled. The blood-red seal led Ling Shiqi's blood to burst out, and it emitted a strange rhythm. Blood summoning heaven's might seal. Ling Shiqi used 6 powerful spiritual techniques at the same time, and it was after he absorbed the power of the blood beast altar and the 2 demons. He was in an unprecedentedly powerful state. Although he was still in the realm of oneness of heaven and man, the power of his attacks had faintly surpassed that of the old man, who was in the realm of Tianyuan. Mr. Zhou could no longer remain calm. His eyes widened, and there was only one emotion in them, and that was disbelief. Chapter 792. Each of Ling Shiqi's moves had the power of the sky origin stage. Among them, the ghost god's sword, the ephemeral flash, and the Vairocana dragon flame palm were far beyond the limit of most sky origin stage cultivators. He was only a 6th-level half-demon. Even if he received the power of the demon mink and the star moon heavenly winged tiger, he could not burst out with such terrifying power. What Ling Shiqi was showing was clearly not the power of a demonic beast. Mr. Zhou also saw Ling Shiqi's soul, which meant that Ling Shiqi was not a half-demon, but a human. He had been tricked by the 2 half-demons, and now he realized that the half-demon he treated as a toy had been fooling him from the beginning. Of course, Mr. Zhou did not have the time to care about that. He had to stop Ling Shiqi's storm-like attacks first. Mr. Zhou bellowed, and a layer of blood-red flames appeared around him. Within the blood-red flames, a ferocious blood-red dragon roared out with great power. He began to burn his essence blood. The blood dragon roared and met the fist power of the tyrant fist. The fist power had the power to dominate the world, but it was shattered by the blood dragon after only 2 moves. The blood dragon's power was obvious. The blood-summoning heavenly seal fell. The seal flashed in a strange rhythm. Every time it flashed, the blood dragon's body would collapse a little. The seal was formed from Ling Shiqi's blood qi, and the blood garment pavilion was good at controlling blood qi and evil qi. Although Mr. Zhou's blood dragon, which was formed by burning his blood essence, was powerful, his control was far inferior to Ling Shiqi's. After all, no one would deliberately burn their blood essence to cultivate such a life-threatening spiritual technique if they had nothing better to do. Mr. Zhou frowned immediately. While controlling the blood dragon, he tore off a cloth bag from his waist. The shadow of the strange beast behind him gradually solidified, and in an instant, it became a real demonic beast. In the air, the blood dragon was attracted by the blood-summoning heavenly seal. Above the 9 heavens, boundless Buddhist power suddenly appeared, and the Vairocana dragon flame palm fell. Before it got close, the Buddhist light and golden earth dragon flame had already evaporated a little of the blood dragon. With one slap, the Buddhist light was extinguished, and the flames burned the sky. The blood dragon immediately let out a tragic cry and gradually collapsed in a twist. Puff! The moment the blood dragon disappeared, Mr. Zhou spat out a mouthful of blood. The blood dragon was formed by Mr. Zhou's essence blood. The blood dragon's destruction naturally, Mr. Zhou suffered a lot of internal injuries. Originally, his blood dragon's power was unparalleled. It could even tear apart several layers of Leng Shiqi's spiritual techniques. However, the blood dragon was first restrained by the blood seal. Then, it encountered the pure gold earth dragon flame and Buddhist power, which were the bane of demons. The golden earth dragon flame palm and the Shiqi flame palm, the blood dragon was easily destroyed. Not only the blood dragon, the blood beast's flame Shiqi flame was, but it also the heavenly flame's flame was black smoke. Black Shiqi chi. Mr. Zhou forced himself to suppress the shock in his heart. He held the machete in his hand and slashed down fiercely. His whole body instantly turned into a giant blade and slashed the Leng Shiqi's golden earth dragon flame palm. The machete did not lose its momentum and met the demon god's sword. The machete and the sword collided, and a huge wave burst out. With the machete and the sword as the center, the ground within dozens of miles was directly shattered and sunk several feet deep. However, the result of the clash between the machete and the sword was that they were evenly matched. This was not what Mr. Zhou wanted to see. He thought that the machete could at least break 3 of the Leng Shiqi's spiritual techniques, but it only broke the blood-summoning heavenly seal and the demon god's sword. Although he could not use too much of his strength, he was a powerhouse at the peak of the sky origin stage after all. The machete with all his strength did not achieve the result he wanted. This could only mean that the Leng Shiqi's power was once again beyond his imagination. The strange beast opened its bloody mouth, and a glaring blood-red machete suddenly appeared. The whole space was filled with the sound of the machete, and the machete was filled with the intention to kill. The blood-red machete was instantly slashed out, and it slashed towards the demon god's triad. This time, there was not much of a movement. The blood-red light flashed in the sky, and the 3 machete lights were instantly shattered. The blood-red machete lights even reached the Leng Shiqi at an incredible speed. Leng Shiqi's face was expressionless. The Vairocana form behind him suddenly shrank back into his body. His body was full of Buddha's light, and he was extremely majestic, just like a real Buddha. His ferocious demonic body was now stained with the light of Vajra, and he looked both holy and evil. The Vajra unbreakable divine art. However, Leng Shiqi did not use the Vajra unbreakable divine art to resist the attack. He moved his feet slightly, and his figure appeared a few miles away like a ghost. This was the Qian Kuan underground technique that he could only use with the power of the earth. In terms of speed, it was definitely not inferior to a spiritual technique of the 8th level. Boom! The blood-red machete slashed the ground where Leng Shiqi had been. With a loud bang, a huge and bottomless machete mark appeared on the ground. Mr. Zhou's pupils shrank. Not only did Leng Shiqi master all kinds of powerful spiritual techniques, but he also had such a strange movement technique. How was he supposed to fight him? At this moment, an invisible blade suddenly broke into Mr. Zhou's mind. This was the blade of the primordial spirit of the triad. Ah! Mr. Zhou suddenly felt a splitting headache, and he immediately screamed. At this moment, the dream of 1,000 autumn fingers split into dozens of illusions, and in the blink of an eye, Mr. Zhou was dragged into the illusions. Mr. Zhou's eyes showed a hint of absent-mindedness. The strange beast behind him roared and wanted to protect him, but it was not enough. It charged straight at Leng Shiqi. However, countless blood beast phantoms blocked in front of it. The strange beast also had the strength of a 7th-level demon. It could tear apart the blood beast phantoms with a wave of its hand. However, all the blood beast phantoms were not afraid of death, and they charged forward one after another. Leng Shiqi knew that this opportunity would not come again. At the same time, he formed 4 seals. In an instant, the fire phoenix's cry burned the sky and destroyed the world. The water dragon's roar swallowed everything. The wind tiger's roar shook heaven and earth. The black tortoise's descent suppressed everything. The innate four symbols filled the heaven and earth like a Dharma world. Ling Shichi put his four arms together and the power of the four symbols suddenly fused together to form a formation diagram that connected the heaven and earth. Streams of power of law that went straight to the origin spread out from it. The four spirits array diagram. In the time that Ling Shichi formed the four spirits array diagram, Mr. Zhou had already broken free from the illusions and woke up. Facing the four spirits array diagram that was filled with the power of the laws of nature, Mr. Zhou's heart was already in turmoil. Every time Ling Shichi attacked, it would greatly exceed his expectations. He never dreamed that Ling Shichi would be able to touch the power of the laws of nature that he had always dreamed of. At this moment, Mr. Zhou also felt that his life was in danger. He hurriedly formed a seal with his hands. Suddenly, the strange beast that was still trembling with the blood beast phantom stiffened. Then, the strange beast turned into a scarlet stripe of blood and merged with Mr. Zhou's body. Mr. Zhou's body mutated again and again. In an instant, he became a half-demon like Ling Shichi. His aura suddenly increased. Holding the scimitar in his hand, a shocking saber intent rushed into the sky. At this moment, Mr. Zhou had merged himself with the saber intent, the strange beast, and the heaven and earth. He used himself as a saber, the blood beast as a saber, and the heaven and earth as a saber. With one slash, everything was extinguished. He did not comprehend the power of the laws of nature, but this slash could even cut through the laws of nature. The four spirits array diagram slowly fell. The mysterious power of the laws of nature spread. This four spirits array diagram that had never failed was cut in half by this slash. Chapter 793. The old man, Zhongzhenliang, Lan Ruo and Delta Origi had already arrived at the center of the demonic miasma mountains. Here, they could only feel waves of powerful spiritual energy, but they couldn't find anyone. Because Ling Shichi and Mr. Zhou were fighting in a sealed space, even if there was energy leaking out, the old man and the others couldn't get in. They didn't know what was going on inside, but they were worried about Ling Shichi's safety. The old man said, "There's another layer of space hidden here, but the fact that the energy fluctuations can be transmitted so clearly shows that this space isn't very tough." Delta Origi asked, "Seniors, is there any way to find the entrance?" Her voice was full of anxiety. On the way here, she secretly contacted Ling Shichi with the netherlamp illusion, but she didn't get any response. Zhongzhenliang and Lan Ruo looked at each other and said, "There is a way, but this space is much weaker than normal secret realms. I'm afraid it can't even compare to the small chaos paradise. If we attack a weak point with our full strength, we might be able to tear a hole." But he paused, and Lan Ruo continued, "But there's still the star and moon heavenly winged tiger and the demon sable in there, as well as the mysterious and powerful Mr. Zhou. If we use too much energy to open the space, it will affect the upcoming battle. The best way is to set up a formation first. It can increase our strength and make it easier to open the space, and it can also counteract the formation in the demonic miasma mountains, so we won't be restricted in the battle. But it takes time to set up a formation." Time, what they couldn't wait for was time. Every second he delayed meant that Ling Shichi could lose his life at any moment. Delta Origi's heart was in her throat, and she felt a heavy sense of defeat. "I can't help at all." She deeply felt that she was so useless. She couldn't even get involved in a battle of the sky origin stage. Power, power, she had never wanted power as much as she did now. Delta Origi clenched her fists so tightly that she didn't even notice the blood flowing out. The old man's eyes turned, as if he saw something, but he didn't say anything. Instead, he signaled Zhong Zhenliang and Lan Ruo to set up the formation. Inside the sealed space, the battle was still going on. Ling Shiqi's four spirits formation was broken. And it was broken in a very rough way. Ling Shiqi was extremely shocked. He was not shocked because the four spirits array diagram had been broken. It was true that the four spirits array diagram contained the power of the laws of heaven and earth. It was because his cultivation was too low. Compared to Mr. Zhou, he was a whole realm lower. Moreover, Mr. Zhou was no ordinary person. His slash had already touched the boundary of the laws of heaven and earth. No, he had used heaven and earth as his saber. If Mr. Zhou were to break through to the Tongxian realm, he might even be able to cut through the laws of heaven and earth. Even if the formation SSS, ants, the SSS of S, the aurora. To be able to find a flaw in the four spirits array diagram in an instant, this ability made Ling Shiqi very impressed. However, Ling Shiqi's expression didn't change. He took a deep breath, and his eyes turned black and white. Pure yang and pure yin energy rose around him. The yin and yang energies intertwined. The pure yang energy rose to the sky, and the pure yin energy sank into the ground. Then, as the heavens and earth trembled, a dazzling, blazing sun suddenly fell. At the same time, the netherworld energy rose from the ground, and a netherworld ghost sun slowly rose. Two suns appeared, and the terrifying power of yin and yang exploded. Under Ling Shiqi's control, the yin and yang suns collided. Then, countless terrifying yin and yang ripples spread out. Everything in the sky and on the ground disappeared, leaving only black and white. The sealed space suddenly shook, as if it was the end of the world. All the power, including the elemental power, heaven and earth energy, and even the power of the laws, were repelled. Yin-yang brilliance. Ling Shiqi's greatest gain in the heavenly tomb wasn't the increase in his cultivation, nor was it finding a way to quickly increase his cultivation. Instead, it was the stronger yin and yang energy, which was the advanced spiritual technique of the great void swimming dragon, yin-yang brilliance. Yin and yang were destroyed, the five elements were reversed, the altar was shattered, and the space collapsed. Mr. Zhou was dumbfounded. Looking at the sealed space that was about to collapse, his eyes were filled with disbelief. He knew very well that one had to be at the Tongxian realm to break through this space with brute force. The person in front of him actually had such terrifying power? At this moment, he seemed to have seen the figure of death. No! Mr. Zhou roared in despair. He couldn't die like this. He stretched out a finger and pointed at the space between his eyebrows. Immediately, a blood-red mark appeared. Tens of thousands of miles away, the blood beast sect suddenly soared into the sky with a bloody light. An ancient strange beast had awakened. It murmured in a low voice, and a mysterious force instantly crossed space and descended on Mr. Zhou. Buzz, the space behind Mr. Zhou twisted, and a pair of beast arms reached out to protect Mr. Zhou. At the same time, Mr. Zhou formed a seal, and the countless corpses of the beasts on the altar also gathered like a tide. It was also at this moment that the power of the yin-yang brilliance exploded. There was no powerful roar, nor was there any heart-palpitating waves. Wherever the yin and yang ripples went, the sealed space was instantly cut into countless cracks. They could even see the demonic miasma mountain range. Zhong Zhenliang and Lan Ruo, who were setting up the array outside, paused. The old man's expression changed greatly. He grabbed Delta Origi and flew into the sky, shouting, "Retreat!" Lan Ruo and Zhong Zhenliang immediately gave up on the array that was about to form, and turned into two rays of light and flew far away. Just as they flew away, the endless yin and yang energy finally broke through the sealed space and exploded in the center of the demonic miasma mountain range. In the blink of an eye, everything within 1,000 miles was destroyed, leaving behind a large empty space. The old man and Delta Origi were stunned. What kind of power was this? What kind of person could control such terrifying power? The old man held the thunder spear in his hand and looked down vigilantly. So did Zhongzhen Liang and Lan Ruo. In this demonic miasma mountain range, there was no other heavenly Yuan realm cultivator who belonged to the Thunderblaze dynasty other than them. The person who could cause this scene could only be an enemy. They never thought that this was all caused by the Ling Shiqi. Under the yin-yang brilliance, the extreme yin and yang energy had blocked all their vision and senses, so they didn't know that the Ling Shiqi was below. Chapter 794. What surprised Ling Shiqi the most was that Mr. Zhou was still alive. At this time, there was a small mountain of monster corpses piled up around him. They were the corpses from the blood beast altar. As for the two arms, they had already disappeared. Although the blood beast phantom was no longer under his control, the monster beast corpses could still be used. He had used some kind of secret technique to summon the ancient strange beast to protect himself and gather all the monster beast corpses to save his life. However, Mr. Zhou's meridians were completely damaged at this moment. He was bathed in blood, and his spiritual power was almost exhausted. He was already an arrow at the end of its flight. How could he have thought that he would be forced to this extent by a mere junior? Ling Shiqi's situation was also very bad. The great void yin-yang brilliance had almost drained all his strength. What was even more uncomfortable was that this move was not something he could withstand at his current realm. Now, his spiritual sea was on the verge of collapse, and his soul was weak and listless. Now, it was extremely difficult for him to even move his body. However, with a light hook of his finger, hundreds of netherworld souls immediately flew out of the gates of hell and entered his body. He immediately felt that the spiritual power in his body had been replenished. As the Lord of the Underworld, he could naturally sacrifice his soul to absorb some power. Immediately after, his eyes lit up with 9 colors, and his spiritual sea was overdrawn by his eyes. He endured the intense headache, and 6 incomparably large and mysterious vortexes appeared in the gate of the underworld. That was the 6 paths of reincarnation. Then, a strange force instantly pulled Mr. Zhou's consciousness into the 6 paths of reincarnation. The 6 paths of reincarnation realm. Mr. Zhou's eyes lost their light and became very empty. At this time, he was as weak as an ordinary person. This was the best time to kill Mr. Zhou. Unfortunately, Ling Shiqi did not know that the old man and the Delta Origi were nearby. In his current state, he had to maintain the 6 paths of reincarnation realm with all his strength. He had no spare energy to kill Mr. Zhou. He thought to himself that it would be great if someone else could help at this time. Thinking of this, Ling Shiqi's mind flashed. He did have a helper. With a thought, 8 ghostly shadows walked out of the mansion of the dead. The person in the lead held a spiritual sword, and his entire body was surging with majestic sword intent. His aura was actually close to that of a great expert in the realm of unity of heaven and man. As for the 7 ghost shadows behind him, they were not weaker than Gang's spirit realm. These were the 8 ghost slaves under Ling Shiqi. Their leader was naturally the 1,000 illusion sword master, who was also the current sword demon. Needless to say, Sword Demon thrust his sword forward, and the eerie hell's blade rose from the ground, instantly slicing Mr. Zhou into countless pieces. A top-level Sky Origin stage cultivator was killed by Ling Shiqi. The passive skill, Hell's Curse, was activated and absorbed a strand of Mr. Zhou's soul. At the same time, the Mansion of the Dead also absorbed his soul. The remnant soul at the peak of Sky Origin stage immediately nourished Ling Shiqi's body and sea of consciousness. In the blink of an eye, his sea of consciousness was stabilized and showed signs of recovery. Next, he just needed to slowly nourish it for a while. However, even so, Ling Shiqi's state of exhaustion could not be changed. From the time he used the yin-yang brilliance and the 6 paths of reincarnation to break the closed space to killing Mr. Zhou, it was only a split second. He was afraid of attracting the remaining evil beasts in the demonic miasma mountains, so he had no time to think about anything else and directly teleported Mr. Zhou's body into the mansion of the dead. When everything calmed down, the Delta Origi in the sky were all stunned. At this time, the center of the demonic miasma mountains, including a part of the inner area, had been turned into nothingness. The mountains, the rocks, the trees, everything was gone, leaving only a deep pit that was too horrible to look at. The old man looked dignified and said, "Did you all feel it? It can't be wrong, it's the aura of the laws of heaven and earth, and it's the extremely rare law of yin and yang." Zhong Zhenliang's face was full of surprise. Obviously, he could not believe what he saw. Lan Ruo looked around and was extremely vigilant. What happened in that space? Where are the mixed demon sable and the heavenly winged tiger? Where is Mr. Zhou? Is there a Tongxian realm powerhouse hiding here? However, no one could answer her question because they could not sense any aura other than the 4 of them. What about the heavenly winged tiger and the mixed demon sable? Where is Mr. Zhou? Where is Ling Shiqi? The 4 of them were puzzled, but they were not the only ones who were puzzled and shocked. Northern Wei Empire, Blood Beast Sect. At this time, all the spirit cultivators in the sect were alarmed by the strange beast phantom that appeared not long ago. From the sect leader and elders to the ordinary disciples, they all looked up to the sky. Especially the upper echelons of the Blood Beast sect, they all rushed to the secret place deep underground. Shockingly, this place was also an altar. Different from the Blood Beast altar, this altar did not have thousands of demon beast corpses, only a strange demon beast that was hundreds of feet in size. This was clearly the strange beast that Mr. Zhou had summoned before his death. At this time, the sect leader of the Blood Beast sect, Blood Beast Lion King Situ Huanchu's face was gloomy. He shouted in a deep voice, "Who dares to summon the power of the Beast Sovereign?" The Beast Sovereign and the altar was the foundation of the Blood Beast sect. The Blood Beast sect was famous because every disciple cultivated a blood beast. The Blood Beast's combat power was very strong. In most cases, the Blood Beast's combat power was stronger than that of the Blood Beast sect's disciples. However, the Blood Beast sect also had a major problem similar to the Corpse Puppet sect. That was because low-level demonic beasts were very common, especially since the Blood Beast sect was specially built in a place near the far north wastelands. There were demonic beasts everywhere, and there were plenty of low-level demonic beasts. They could be casually caught and refined into blood beasts. However, with the gradual improvement of the sect's disciples, the demon beasts they needed also had to be stronger and stronger. With the strength of the Blood Beast sect, they could also forcibly capture 3rd-level and 4th-level demon beasts, but 5th-level and 6th-level demon beasts could only be encountered in the depths of the northern wastelands. One had to know that the northern wastelands were more than 10 times more dangerous than the demonic miasma mountain range. There were many 7th-level great demons there, and it was rumored that there were even 8th-level demon venerables. If the Blood Beast sect wanted to capture high-level demon beasts, the price would be very high, so they used another method, which was to use the power of the ancient strange beast in front of them to fuse and refine several mid-level demon beasts into high-level demon beasts. The method was good, and it had also led to the prosperity of the Blood Beast sect for thousands of years, but the power of the ancient strange beast was not inexhaustible. As the Blood Beast sect used that power again and again, the ancient strange beast was slowly weakening. If this continued, it would probably die on its own. The Blood Beast sect naturally could not watch this happen, so the sect's upper echelons decided to temporarily seal the ancient strange beast and create their own cultivation method to solve the problem. Until now, the ancient strange beast had been sealed for decades, and there had been no accidents. However, for some reason, such a major change had occurred today, causing the beast venerable to lose a lot of its power. Especially its pair of arms, which were obviously much shriveled. That was why Situ Huanchu lost his composure like this. The rest of the people did not dare to breathe loudly. After a while, the person beside him said carefully, "Sect Master, the beast venerable has been sealed for a long time, and only 2 people know how to mobilize the power of the beast venerable. Other than you, Sect Master, there's only one person." The person who spoke was Xia Pingyu, whom Ling Shiqi had met in the demonic miasma mountain range. He was also one of the culprits who forced 9 leave to self-destruct. After he said this, everyone thought of one person, but they exclaimed at the same time, "Sect Master is talking about Zhuozhou. Didn't he die long ago?" You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.